Touchdown! Cook's going to throw the deep ball, and Burton past the defense. Touchdown, Luther Burton!
Milrow going to run it again. Got a lane. Kicked in the turbo. Milrow. Goodbye. Touchdown, Bama.
This is Chasing the Natty, a college fantasy football podcast. All right, good evening, everyone. This is Jared Palmgren, host of the Chasing the Natty podcast. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Here on this Sunday night, we are here with our 5th CFF mock draft live stream of the season so far. Again, I say mock draft. Again, we are putting a little bit of money down on these drafts in order to make sure that everybody here is making sure they are drafting seriously. But glad to have you guys all here with me. We are in for a wonderful show tonight. We have joining us tonight Mr. Justice and Luke from the G5Hive. And of course, if I'm going to bring on these guys, we have to, it's in their contract, do a G5-only draft. We did the Power 4 only draft with Chris Battistel a couple of weeks ago. Well, we're back here 2 weeks later with a G5 only draft. It is going to get very, very interesting very quickly tonight. But Justice, Luke, how are you guys doing tonight, guys? Justice, we'll start with you first, man. How you doing?
And I'm doing great. Good weekend. I shared a story with Luke earlier. Had a little scary day yesterday. Went fishing with my dad, and my kids went, and fishing line got caught in the prop, and my dad had to jump in the water, try to unwind it, and we almost ran into some bridge pilings.
Oh, good Lord.
And yeah, it was just a scary situation. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing all right.
Other than, you and your entire family almost getting stranded in the middle of a lake, you're doing great.
We were in the ocean. So.
Oh, you're in the ocean? Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So
what were you guys fishing for?
We were Spanish mackerel fishing, and then that didn't work out, so we went bottom fishing, flounder, spot, croaker.
There you go. All right, and then the other man joining us tonight, of course, is Mr. Luke Probosco, the other half of the G5Hive. Luke, how are you doing tonight, man?
Doing pretty good. Did a lot of traveling this weekend. Went back home. It was about 2.5 hour drive. Took my 2 kids to go see Grandpa and Grandma. Stayed there all weekend, and then got back not too long ago. And then I was like, I got to make a queue, so I had to make a queue real quick. I know somebody mentioned something there in the chat about what their queue. So I'm looking at 141. Had to put that together real quick, so I'll have to be continually working on that as I go.
That my friend is going to get you through about halfway through this draft.
I got 439, so I think I'm all right.
Yeah, Justice is the only one coming in truly prepared tonight. But as Bobby there in the chat says, we're going to really find out who really knows college football tonight. And quite frankly, again, I'll put good money on both of you guys being at the top of that, given the awesome work you guys have been doing over there at the G5Hive. For those of you who are watching either now or you watch this later, if y'all have not checked out the awesome work that Justice and Luke have been doing for Group of 5 coverage, it is absolutely phenomenal. They have been putting out their Worker Bee series, which in my opinion is one of the best podcasts out there in terms of just finding out information on these teams that there's just so little information out of. They go out, they find the best beat reporters that they can find out there to bring you guys the best information on these teams. So I'm looking forward to seeing who they draft towards the end of this draft, because man, they're going to know probably better than all of us with it. So if you guys have not already, go ahead, go subscribe to the G5Hive and everything like that. Gentlemen, again, we're doing a G5Hive only, or G5Hive. I'm so used to saying G5Hive when I talk about the G5 now. That you guys should tell you how just ingrained that is in my head at this point. We're doing a G5 only draft tonight. How does that change
for the number 5 best ball?
For the number 5 best ball,
perfect.
this works. It works out really well. How do things change in a draft like this, right? like, how does this compare to like a full FBS draft? Obviously, we're going to go much deeper with some of these teams than we have done before. But in terms of like, what does the player pool look like to you? How do like Justice? We'll start with you. What is your strategy going into this?
I would just say you deal with position scarcity, right? Like I'm sure I didn't see the P4, but I'm assuming you dealt with those same things in a full 134 team draft. You can wait on some positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you cut that down, you deal with position scarcity quite more, much faster. And I think sometimes folks don't plan for that, right? They're used to the all FBS teams, and they don't draft a quarterback till round 10. Well, if you don't draft a quarterback till round 10, you're going to be in bad shape.
I wholeheartedly agree, and it's something that I was actually just kind of looking at here with planning out, because I'm at the 1-2. We'll throw up the draft stream and again here in a second, but there's a legit possibility that even if Ashton Gianti's there at 1-2, I may not take him, and he's a 1-1 in full FBS drafts. Because, man, I look at the quarterbacks, and, man, things dry up so quickly. They dry up so dang quickly. I am super glad I'm at the 1-2 because, quite frankly, I'm going to get one of the elite quarterbacks in the G5 here just to give myself that advantage at the position compared to everything else. Because I think running back, I can get some guys to fall back to me potentially at the 2-3 turn. Luke, what about you, man? How do things change in a G5 or G5 only draft? I'm going to do that all night long. How do things change for you in a G5 only draft compared to the full FBS draft?
I feel like it might be the only where if you want to give you a hard time about it. Was I lagging there?
Yeah, like a little bit.
Me?
I think that was on my end, so we should be good to go.
All right, yeah. I just think it could be the only time where taking a tight end 101 might be okay.
I don't know if you want to go that far, but you're right. Again, tight ends dry up very, very quickly in this format as well. And so, like, I don't know. Is it worth taking a guy that early in a format like this instead of just kind of waiting and go dumpster diving for guys later? I think I'm probably going to end up on the dumpster diving side of things. There's a couple G5 guys I can think of off the top of my head that I'm kind of interested in that will probably fall a little bit, even in a draft like this, but we'll see. Let me go ahead and throw us over to the draft page here. As you guys can see, you got the chat on the board. We will be asking, or I want you guys asking questions all night long. We got two guys here that know G5 probably better than anybody else in the country, really, I would say. And so ask as deep as you want to go with some of these questions. We're here to have a good time. Well, again, we're not going to be able to give full answers for every single one of them, most likely, given the type of teams that we're talking about here. But for the most part, we'll have a great time. Just a quick overview of the format for the draft. We are going 30 rounds, so we're going very deep. Starting lineup is 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 flex spots, no tight end premium. We are going full PPR and 4-point passing touchdowns. I think that's all people would need to know regarding the format of the draft. Is there anything else you guys can think of that maybe you'd want to know before getting into a draft?
Where do you want to put the placeholder so everybody sees it?
Let's go ahead.
We'll
go ahead and put them in the chat. Can I create a new chat channel here?
Do you want it on the Fantrax chat or the YouTube chat or the Twitter chat?
We'll go Fantrax chat for people putting in placeholders, because that is something we do have to consider tonight. There are a couple of people that are in Fantrax, but their teams aren't fully updated yet. So thinking about guys like Chandler Morris, the quarterback out of North Texas. Thinking about Marquez Cooper, going from Ball State to San Diego State. Thinking about DJ Stokes, the running back going from Michigan to Charlotte there. A couple of guys that are, again, kind of in the ether regarding their placement on Fantrax that we'll have to keep track of here tonight. The draft has started. 11 in red is the first one on the clock.
Salter. Ouch.
And we'll see. And Salter's first one off the board. I think I'm going to follow suit. I'm going to go ahead and take the other elite G5 quarterback here. We'll go Byron Brown. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about passing up Ashton Gianti here. Again, I don't trust whatever quarterbacks are going to make it back to me. I'm actually going to look at that when it comes back to me at the 2-3, kind of see what quarterbacks I would have gotten had I waited. Justin takes Ash and GNT off the clock here. Let's see, where are you guys at? Luke, you're at the 1-9, and Justice, you're down there at the 1-12. How are you guys feeling about that?
I don't feel great. Well, just because, I'm going to take 2 and then, 24 more picks where I pick again. It's going to be, it's going to get ugly fast.
You can totally see that. Luke, how are you feeling about being on the back end of the draft there?
I don't think it'll be too bad. I would definitely prefer to be on the front side, though, for sure.
I definitely agree, because look at the run of quarterbacks we already have coming off the board. This is definitely a huge difference compared to a full FBS or even Power 4 draft, because Power 4, there's still plenty of quarterbacks that you can typically go with, even because there's just a lot of good startable options. But with G5, you have to take into account their out of conference even more, right? And so like Power 4 guys, you can kind of rely on those early weeks versus G5 guys. You really got to find them, the ones that are going to be able to provide for you week after week here. Asul on the clock here. Hopefully he is here and ready to make his pick soon.
And that 1 minute goes by fast.
That 1 minute really does go by fast. The moment you're actually on the clock, man, it gets rough real quick.
Jared, did you say it was full point PPR or half point?
Full point PPR.
All right,
please. Okay. Joey Aguilar comes off the board. Quarterback's drying up real quick here. Quarterbacks continue to dry up. Oh, one thing that I absolutely should mention here. Some teams that are kind of wishy-washy on whether or not you would consider them G5 or not. Like, what are we doing with the independent teams? Notre Dame, obviously, that stays in a Power 4 only draft, but everybody else, that includes Washington State, Oregon State, UConn, UMass, they are all available in the player pool tonight, which definitely helps us out a ton when it comes to... It definitely helps us out a ton when it comes to building out this player pool just a little bit more. Luke, you are on the clock, sir. What direction are you going to go here?
Well, I kind of want to zag. Everyone's going quarterback, so I kind of want to looking at my next player pool that I feel like is kind of small. So I'm going to look at the running back spot, and I think I'm going to go with the Malik Sherrod here.
Malik Sherrod, I like the pick, especially in full point PPR. He catches a lot of passes.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to go there. I definitely wanted Mario Anderson. We did an interview with him the other day. Had that drop there on the G5Hive Saturday. Would have loved to have him there, but like I said, I think I got to go with the running back. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing and end up with, a guy further down on my board.
I agree, because I was definitely looking at the quarterbacks that are still left on the board, and I'll be real, I feel like, again, there's maybe one more guy that I might consider taking pretty high here, but otherwise, I feel like you're getting a pretty big drop off here. Justice, it's coming back to you here, man. Are you gonna follow the quarterback run, or are you gonna go the Luke route and try to zag?
It really depends what Ethan does in front of me.
And let me tell you, Ethan, smart guy. He will not be kind to you. He can spot value on a board very, very quickly. All right, we got a couple of questions here in the chat. Let's see. Todd Skids, he says, what G5 kickers should be high scoring?
Look for the high scoring offenses, right?
I was going to say, really, it's just a matter of finding the teams that you expect to score. Right?
All right.
So I would say whoever Liberty's kicker is,
Memphis
I would go
kicker.
there. Memphis kicker would be a great one. I'd say Tulane. I'd be interested in Tulane, John Summerall's system there, because I expect them to be pretty good.
That's a placeholder.
Okay, Stone Earl's a placeholder for Chandler Morris. That's good to know. I'll put that in the chat. Stone Earl.
Justice already got it. He already knew. He already knew what he wanted.
Yeah, but I didn't know if Ethan was going to take him or not.
I know, I was putting it in the YouTube chat for people to reference.
Okay.
And then again, G5 kickers. Luke, do you have any teams that you're willing to draft their kickers from?
I'd say, Memphis is going to be number 1, App State probably number
App
2,
State.
Liberty kicker 3,
Boise State.
Boise State has a great kicker, actually.
I would say Dalmas is a pretty dang good
Dalmas
kicker.
is a daggone good kicker, yes.
UNLV. I think those would be what I'd be comfortable with right now.
All right, Ethan takes Jacob Zeno. That quarterback again. I am so glad that I took quarterback early on here. Like, look at them all just flying off the board here. Luke, you're on the clock here. After you get through your pick here, we'll pop over to more questions. But Luke, who are you looking at here? A lot of top end guys still on the board at other positions outside of quarterback. So you going to continue to take advantage of that?
I'm looking at that. I'm looking at kind of who's there at the top of my quarterback list. And I think I am going to go ahead and take quarterback here. And I'm going to go with Jalen Rayner.
All right.
Here. I feel like he's got, I don't know, I would have loved Gio Lopez. I wouldn't have him as my number one quarterback. But I liked what Rayner did there at Arkansas State last year. Feel good with having what I have seen of him going into year 2. And again, it's out of this position that is scarce. We got a lot of. I honestly thought we'd have a lot more people go with wide receivers at the beginning, but that has not been the case.
I feel like wide receiver is the
deepest
but position that's deepest in the G5,
Yeah.
but also like it's the one you're willing to take the most shots on, right? Like it just because of the volatility of the position in general, right? You're in a best ball format like this, you're kind of okay with missing out on some of those top guys and then trying to back end fill it with some high upside guys at the end. So we got our first tight end off the board there with Harold Fannin. As Luke kind of said, he could have gone 101 and Luke would not have batted an eye. Justice, would you have been the same way?
I wouldn't take him 101, but I could see an argument for taking him in the first round.
No, I can definitely see it as well. All right, it's coming back to me here. And there's our second tight end off the board. And we got the run going here already. Rock Taylor, Luke, you feel bad about missing out on him?
No, I mean I like him, but it's just so deep that there's a whole bunch of guys that I like in that territory, and I feel like in college I feel more comfortable with the running backs and the quarterbacks that I'm going to get these points out of, as opposed to the wide receivers position. So I feel like I can find value here and there.
Yeah, I can totally see that. All right, Mike Bainbridge taking Joey Hobart there. It's coming back to me here. I got quite a few good options in my opinion, on the board.
Yeah, what are you thinking here, Jared?
He can't say it out loud, Luke.
I can't say it out loud too much, but again, I'm seeing some guys that I'm definitely interested in. Again, man, wide receiver, man, that is just, there's so many guys, so many guys. But I think I might hit up running back here soon, because there's a couple of guys here that I like. Let's see. All right, so I'm on the clock here. Let's go again. A couple of running backs that I feel a little bit icky about, but like, man, there's such a big drop off. Oh man, 45 seconds already. Man, that does go by quick. Screw it, it's $5 draft. Let's go Ismail Mahdi at Texas Tech.
Love
State.
Ishmael Mahdi. We interviewed him back in January, Luke, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
great
January.
guy.
I'm just worried because it seems like they're trying to bring in some guys to kind of take the load off of him, and that's probably going to be of a similar theme here with the next guy I pick here. We'll see what Rebs gives us here. Also, for those of you asking questions in the chat, I will get back to it. I know I promised after Luke's pick that we would get to them, but I got distracted, and unfortunately that is what happens when you're doing a live draft and running a stream at the same time. So we'll see what Rebs does here. I think we can, while Rebs is going, we can add
Fox Goose has a question about the Liberty wide receiver room. I am not answering that question until we get a little bit further into this.
No, I was about to say, yeah.
Well, the other thing is, I don't think we know, right? It's a guess at this point, and I'll tell you, in my opinion, it's a guess between two folks, and when they get drafted, I'll tell you who those two folks are.
All right. Well, Quentin Cooley came off the board there from Rebs. I was kind of hoping that he might make it a couple more picks there, but I'm not surprised. He was somebody I was considering. I'll take Jalen White. It's a risky pick because of his injury history, but man, when he's healthy, he gets 25 touches per game. Nobody that's getting 25 touches per game is going to make it back to me at the 4 or 5 here pretty quickly. So I am pretty stoked about grabbing those two guys as my starters at running back there. So, all right, let's see. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, Fox Goose again. Liberty. I'll go ahead and throw it out here. Trilly Chang, a Hawaii fan, taking 2 Hawaii wide receivers here. I'm not surprised. In terms of Liberty's wide receiver room, I think probably the most I'm interested in is probably Julian Gray, the NC State transfer, but I really think it's up in the air right now. I don't think anybody in Liberty's coaching staff could tell you what that wide receiver pecking order is going to be right now. There's so much they still have to figure out there. It could very well be something that goes into the season. Absolutely, I would just star Liberty's wide receiver room, and the first couple of weeks we're into the season, they better be at the top of your watch list, because we know for a fact that they get a guy like CJ Daniels, they'll feed him. They'll throw bombs down the field to them all day long. But until then, I couldn't give you a good answer on that right now. Kevin Parker did ask, Luke, you're on the clock here, but I'll go ahead and throw this question out here. Kevin Parker did ask, thoughts on Ragsdale at North Texas? Could he bounce back after injury, or is North Texas too deep at running back now? I want to believe he's still the guy there. I actually don't think North Texas is that deep at running back.
Yeah, they're not that deep,
It's just Ragsdale and Zach Evans, and I'm a believer in.
Well,
Zach Evans
they brought in Ducker from Northern Illinois / Memphis, I think, right?
No,
where did he go?
Javon Ducker went to Sam Houston.
Okay.
So it's just Ragsdale and Evans, in my opinion. I like Evans's talent, but I do think that, again, given the fact that Ragsdale has been with this program for a couple of years, if he's healthy, he'll get first shot at RB1 role there, and we know that is a pretty lucrative place to be, especially if they do have less options than they normally have. So again, I'm not sure where Ragsdale is going to come off the board in this draft, but I'm not going to consider it a bad pick or Zach Evans a bad pick. I think either one of them, given how much they do run the ball, surprisingly, over there, I think both of them could end up being potential CFF backs if it's really just the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, when we interviewed Brett Vito, he thought, when we asked him, okay, what running back is getting the first carry of the year, and he said it'd be Ragsdale. He thinks Ragsdale is if he can stay healthy, he's going to contribute to that team. And Zach Evans couldn't really, he couldn't stay healthy at Minnesota. He had some injury issues again at North Texas in the spring, and so if Zach's going to challenge Ragsdale, it could be a war of attrition, right? Which one stays more healthy, I guess.
I agree.
Justice, you're on the clock,
by the way. Also, Luke, while he's making those picks, why don't you tell us about Keelan Robinson there? Or Caden Robinson.
So Caden Robinson played on the outside this last year. We actually will have an interview with him coming out soon. I think maybe next weekend, but he will be moving into the slot. And if you maybe remember in that weathered game, in the bowl game, he moved to the slot. I think he had 8 receptions for like 118 yards or something like that. They're moving him to the slot this year and moving him around. So I think he's going to be a guy to own.
All right. Real quick, just as you make your pick, I don't normally do this, but I actually do need to take care of something real quick. So if you guys don't mind taking care of the stream for just a minute here, I'll be right back.
Absolutely. So yeah, I went John Mateer, Harrison Whaley. Quarterbacks are going to be your highest scores. They've already pretty much dried up. Mateer's got really high upside. The question is whether he's going to be the starter or not. And then, running backs are drying up pretty fast too. So I just went ahead and grabbed Harrison Whaley. Wyoming, I think Wyoming's known for 2 things: defense and running the ball. And Whaley should be the feature back for them once again. Had a good season last year when he's healthy. So knock on wood, he can stay healthy this year, and hopefully Mateer wins the job there for the Washington State Cougars.
Yeah, and let's see.
There goes Cole Wilson.
Just value just dropping. That's
for receivers, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, you're on the board, Luke. What you looking at?
I'm taking Lee Beebe with UAB. Isaiah Jacobs has a torn ACL. He's coming back from that. Now, if he is healthy and is able to come back, so he tore his ACL the last game in September, but he actually played the game through that torn ACL. And if he's not back, it could be the Lee Beebe show. He had some receptions. He could get upwards of 30 touches a game if it's his backfield. So I really like his opportunity there. Now, if Isaiah Jacobs is back, yes, Isaiah Jacobs, brother of Josh Jacobs, there with the Packers, he's still going to get about 14 opportunities a game. And I just like what this offense has to offer. So I like Lee Beebe there, and then some upside if Jacobs is not healthy.
All right, we got our second placeholder of the draft here with Marquez Cooper coming off there at the 4 or 5, placeholdered by Martin Blake there for anybody confused by that pick. Also, Justice, in the chat, Clinton Carlson says the running back you were trying to think of was Jawan Price from Syracuse and New Mexico State.
Transferred to North Texas. I knew they got a transfer. I just couldn't think of who it was.
No, I agree. As soon as Clint said it, I'm like, yes, that's right. That is who I was trying to think of. So,
but still, that's only 3 guys, right? And
no, for sure.
And they've rotated in the past, so that's still not a deep room for them.
No, not at all. They had 4 guys running last year. So Andrew Brandt commenting in the chat that Shirley Chang drafting back-to-back Hawaii wide receivers. Again, I'm not surprised. Shirley Chang is a Hawaii fan, so I don't blame him for going and getting guys that he's going to want to root for. I would never recommend drafting 2 guys from the same team that high, given bye weeks and everything.
I would say this week Hawaii has 3 bye weeks. That's a double whammy kind of.
Oh, I'm on the clock. Shoot. All right, let's see. What can I do here? I got a couple of guys that I like here. A lot of wide receivers, man, that I still like on the board. So I think I'm gonna roll the dice there. And I'm going to draft my second quarterback, man. Given how much things dry up here, Matt Sluka's still on the board. I'll take our placeholder here, Lucas Lenoff, and I'll take Byron Brown and Matt Sluka as my top 2 quarterbacks here. Just try to get a positional advantage between those 2 guys.
It's funny because like Lenoff is like the universally accepted placeholder. It's the only one like you can look at like, oh, I know who that is.
No, it's like we've done that in the past with so many guys before. Because like I know Micah Hudson, I forget which wide receiver we had on him, but there became like a universal placeholder for Micah Hudson as well. And like when I do drafts now, if somebody takes like a Jaden Daniels, right? And then they say like this is a placeholder for Matt Sluka. I'm like, no, we're switching that out for Lenoff because otherwise I will not know. Right, if I see Lenoff, I know exactly who it is.
Well, yeah, like I mean, I don't know, like his kind of off topic, and you're on the clock, Jared. But
yep.
Like I feel like when you take a placeholder, you need to take a placeholder that's the same position and the same school from the team, the actual guy. That helps a commissioner a ton.
It really does, because some of those names just stick out like a sore thumb, and you're like, oh, I know exactly, or I know what we're supposed to be doing, because like you're like, Lenoff, who would draft Lenoff? Oh, right, that's Matt Sluka, right? I will say it is kind of weird that we haven't been using Doug Brumfield, considering, he medically retired.
Well, but see, Fantrax could get rid of him like any day now, so.
I guess that's very true. Also, I just took Ricky Hunt on the way back there, because I just looked at my running back queue, and man, it's drying up really, really, really quickly. And so, I'm again, wide receivers, they're staying on the board. I'm willing to see what kind of falls back to me here, which, of course, means that there's about 100 wide receivers that are about to come off the board within the next, 18 picks until my next pick. So I guarantee you 19 out of 18 of those picks will be wide receivers because of what I just said. But even still, like I'm feeling good about having a 3-headed monster at running back in Ishmael Mahdi, Jalen White, and Ricky Hunt. I feel like, not to pat myself too much on the back, might be one of the strongest running back rooms by the end of this draft.
So what do you like about Hunt there at Ohio? I know he had a big bowl game, but what else do you like about that Ohio team and Hunt there?
He's freaky athletic, and the thing about Maction is, right, we don't have the same volume of CFF options we used to, so the thing you have to look for in MAC teams are these guys that are just going to straight up out-athlete everybody else in that conference. The MAC overall, in terms of talent level, is the weakest of all of it. Maybe CUSA gives it a run for its money, but like in terms of the actual talent talent in a player-by-player basis, the MAC's very close to the bottom, if not at the bottom. And so you're going to have guys that just straight up dominate their competition. Ricky Hunt, given his athleticism, I do think is going to be one of those guys here in the near future that Ohio's going to have to absolutely rely on. Yes, they bring in Anthony Tyus from Northwestern there, obviously a level of concern there, but given how good Hunt looked in the bowl game last year, yeah, I don't expect him to score 5 touchdowns every single game. But he's going to be a guy that they'll rely on. And as my third running back here in a G5-only draft, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. All right, Luke, you take your tight end there with Tanner Koziel. Yeah, tight end's drying up pretty quickly here, and I'm going to have to get more aggressive here.
Yeah, it's drying up pretty quickly. And Koziel, I believe he transferred to Louisville, saw what was going on at Louisville, decided to come back, and he's going to be a key part of that Ball State team.
I believe it. And again, with how quickly tight ends drying up, you might have gotten yourself a pretty solid positional advantage there. But Justice, you got it coming back to you here. What positions are you looking at here, Justice?
Probably all of them but quarterbacks, since I already have 2 quarterbacks. But yeah, I mean, all of them. There's somebody I like for each. All right, I'm gonna take my tight end now too. For folks that don't know,
no, Justice, I was hoping
you need to go watch our G5Hive interview with Wyoming. There's a very important tidbit that was shared in that interview regarding Mr. Gillenborg, and if you don't know that, you should definitely go back and go watch it. And I guarantee you're going to be excited to draft him.
See, the thing about Gillenborg is I remember seeing in the spring reports, like the head coach, I forget his name off the top of my head because I know it's not a bowl anymore, but they were basically talking about like, yeah, we're probably going to get him like 7-8 targets every single game. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, that's a tight end that I want. Give me 7-8 opportunities with a tight end every single week. That's probably a guy that's going to be easily in the top 5 tight ends. No, Gillenborg is somebody I've drafted a ton of in leagues this year. And I was kind of hoping he would fly under the radar. I knew for a fact, I should have known that Justice would be too smart to let him get past him there. And Justice, you take Josh Meredith there, the wide receiver out of Wazoo.
Yeah, I mean,
pairing him up with Mateer.
It's probably a little bit more risk than I would like right now because I already have the risk with Mateer, but I just feel like I couldn't pass up the upside. And there's no chance I think he made it back to me. So,
no, probably not. He was at the top of my queue for wide receivers, so if I went that direction, that's who I would probably have gone. Luke still has his second quarterback to draft here, so I won't ask him. But Justice, we're looking at Mike Bainbridge. Clint's pointing this out in the chat. Mike has not taken a quarterback yet.
I was going to say that a few seconds ago, and you guys started talking about something else. But yeah, I noticed that when he took Clark, I'm like, oh, what's Mike going to do here for quarterback? It could be kind of rough for him.
Again, I'll throw out some names because again, there's not a ton. Like I'm not planning on taking another quarterback here for right now. But again, Bert Emanuel's still on the board. Luke's gonna be like, Luke's throwing up his hands at me, being like, "Dude, you're gonna screw me with these names." EJ Warner, I mean, Braden Fowler, Nicolosi just came off the board there. Carp's just loading up on QBs at this point. Mikey Keene, Zach Gibson are guys I'm looking at. Jason Bauer.
Mike's got to take a quarterback now.
I was gonna say this is gonna get rough for Mike in a second here.
I bet you won't, Mike. I bet you won't.
Grant Wilson, Mike, do it, Grant Wilson.
Oh, look,
yeah, Mike's going balls to the wall here. He says, "I'm winning this without a good quarterback." So I'm loving this. I am absolutely loving this. All right, cool. I know exactly who I'm taking with my next pick here.
EJ Warner, another quarterback, man.
Yeah, I was saying Mike's hurting a little bit. I think Luke's hurting a little bit too.
We expect big things out of Rice. Luke and I have talked about him, I don't know, on shows for the last, feels like 2 or 3 weeks. 20 of 22 starters returning. One of those starters that isn't returning EJ Warner is now the starter at quarterback. Rice, I think, is just a team that folks aren't talking enough about.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel like they're a team that has a legit shot to make that AAC championship game, and just folks just aren't talking about them like that. But I really think they do. Nice pick, Jared. Nice pick.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna fully agree with you on them making it to the AAC championship because man, that's actually for a G5 conference, it's a pretty loaded conference in terms of teams that can make it there. But I fully agree with you on the offense. Not enough guys being talked about there. Landon Ramsum is a wide receiver that I like that's been falling further and further in drafts. I'm kind of surprised that more people aren't taking seriously there. But man, with tight end drying up here, I gotta go with Bowden Green here. The tight end / wide receiver they got going on out there. He could easily lead this team in receptions this next year, and that's the kind of guys I got to take shots on.
If you want to learn more about Rice, pay attention this week. I think our episode is it Tuesday, Luke? I know it drops this week. I think it's Tuesday, but I'm not 100% sure it's Tuesday.
We got so much going on this week or last week. I think we had something drop Monday through Sunday this week, and we'll have something drop Monday through Sunday this next week. And we're loading up on more interviews. I think we got 4 this week, maybe a couple player interviews. There's a lot going on. It's busy. It's busy.
All right, 2 more quarterbacks off the board there with Grant Wilson and Jace Bauer. I'm actually I've already got 2 quarterbacks, and I'm already.
You're considering your third now, aren't you?
I'm considering my third now. This is getting crazy real quick here. And Luke's throwing hands over here. He's just like, guys, give me somebody. No, I think I'm gonna go wide.
What do I got to do?
I think I'm gonna go wide receiver here. And there's some guys that I kind of want, and I'm afraid they're not gonna make it back to me, but we'll see. Maybe I get lucky here, but. I love the Wazoo system, Ben Arbuckle system. Justice, you took Josh Meredith there. I like him better, but I'm willing to take the shot on Chris Hudson. I know there's enough good buzz there that there's a roughly 50-50 shot that he could be the wide receiver 1 for this offense if he's able to beat out Josh Meredith, or for what it sounds like, if Zevi Eckhouse is the starting quarterback, he and Zevi Eckhouse have a really, really good connection. And so I'm just willing to take the shot. Mike going to do
it? Oh, there we go. The quarterback, Devin Dampier.
Also, son of a gun. I just realized that's my first wide receiver off the board. I don't feel nearly as good about that all of a sudden.
Hey, you're in the same boat as me. I took Meredith as my first. So, in this format, you're going to have to take some shots, right? I mean, that's just the way it's going to be.
I definitely agree. I'm also going to start loading it by QB in my draft here because, man, we got the 2. Actually, hold on. Okay, thank God. My 2 starting quarterbacks have different bye weeks. Whew.
Oh, well, you know what? I didn't even look at that, and I'm, not so great for me. They both have the same exact bye weeks.
Oh, that's really, really rough, Justice.
Man, what was I thinking?
Damian Taylor. Love the pick there from Soul. I meant to send out a tweet about Damian Taylor recently. I do think that Taylor is somebody going too late in drafts right now. Man, I just got to start loading up on any QBs that I can find here. Holy crap. Speaking of QBs, Luke, how you feeling, man?
Well, not great, Bob. Not great.
Hey, he's not any worse off than me.
I was hoping to get
the same bye weeks.
It's true.
I was hoping to grab a Dampier here on the way. So I'm going to go with the guy that was next on my list. And I guess give me that.
Corey, great pick with McCray there.
Fresno State.
So that's a good one,
Hopefully
Luke.
I
was considering him for my next pick, but he's also got a week 6 bye week, so that didn't do me any favors.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Again, quarterbacks drying up so quickly. I'm going through and just trying to find anybody that I can right now, and boy, it gets. Wait, nope. I just thought of a name that has very high upside that I'm going to add to my queue right now, and pray to God nobody else is thinking. John Lobb in the chat. First of all, welcome, Mr. Lobb. Glad you could join us. He's also saying don't overlook these triple option quarterbacks at Army and Navy. Honestly, in a format like this, in a best ball format, probably not the worst idea in the world because they're given their system, there's a decent chance you could end up with a couple of 3 touchdown games on the ground there. Justice, you just threw your hand up. You good?
Well, because I'm looking at every time I think, well, I'll take this quarterback. Well, they got a week 6 bye, so I can't take them. Man. I know what I'm going to do at one pick, and Ethan's going to hate me, but whatever. I'm taking Omari Kelly. So, but I'm going to use my clock here to try and figure out my my next pick after that, man, because I don't know. Nothing.
This is getting guys, it's round 7.
I wish the queue would show you bye weeks, but it doesn't, which is it's kind of frustrating. Man.
Also, Heath, I see you in the chat there saying stop talking about Damian Taylor. Sorry, man. Like, it's just in my nature. I don't shut up once I realize the guy is being undervalued. You're definitely not going to want to read my Troy breakdown in our CFF guide because, man, oh man, do I sing Damian Taylor's praises.
It didn't take my pick. There we go.
Yeah, Amari Kelly's in. I see him.
I was going to say, like the clock ran out and my computer still hadn't updated like I picked. Oh, man. What do I want to do here?
Luke, I love how, like, you look just absolutely locked in right now. You're...
I'm just looking at, like, what possible options should I be doing here? There's a lot of things that I could do. I'm just like, do I go quarterback again? Do I hit up the running backs? What's going on with wide receivers?
All right, Justice loading up on wide receiver some more.
I just felt like that's where it was. Like, I mean, there's quarterbacks I like, but they all had week 6 byes, so that didn't help me any. So
no, I agree. Again, it's a little hard to go. Mike Bainbridge says, great practice for Thor's 50-teamer right now. You boys need to join this year. Q's drive quick just like this. Oh, I believe it, Mike. I believe it. I have seen the teams that people win with in that league.
Isn't that a pretty expensive buy-in, though? If I remember correctly.
I think it's $50.
Oh, I thought it was like over 100, but I could be wrong.
Mike, you can tell me in the chat if it's more than $50, but I think it's $50. Or no, it's actually, I think it's $150. Like, it's something crazy like that. But like, if you win, Mike says 150.
Yeah, 150.
That is a pretty expensive buy-in, and unfortunately,
well, to me, and even more so, like, because of the format, like, I mean, I don't know, like, it just, I feel like it's
that's a good
it's
one.
luck of the draw when you start limiting things that much. There's so much more luck involved in terms of winning, and so if I don't go for leagues that are that high when the luck factor increases exponentially.
Heath says it's easy, really. Heath, haven't you won in the past? No, again, like it is a very difficult league, and like I would love to join just for fun one year, but like I have some things that I'm trying to take care of in my real life that I'm going to need that $150 for, and I basically have used up my budget for CFF drafts outside of $5 best balls here and there, for this year. So in the future, I would love to join, but I would say for right now, I will pass on here. Clint Carlson says, in theory, you would think it is luck of the draw, but the past winners have been Andrew Katz times 2, JD Yonke, Bainbridge. I mean, true. Like,
yeah, I don't disagree. Like, experts are going to have an advantage, right? Just because you know more. But I guess I still think when you narrow
injuries
down a pool, you narrow down a pool so much that there's still a lot of luck involved.
No,
I'm not saying not that a more prepared person can't win. That's not what I'm saying. But
no, I think they understand you're not trying to say that. Let's see. Any other questions in the chat that I'm missing here? 863 Kane calls us pain freaks. Honestly, fair. This is a very painful draft so far. Let's see. Anything else that I missed?
I'm not gonna lie. When I watch these on Sunday nights, it hits different being here and feeling it. It's like why don't you take this guy? Why don't you take this guy? It's like it's a lot different when you got that 1 minute and you're looking at stuff. I love that. I was looking,
and it's completely
took Benjamin,
and it's
there, and I was thinking about him.
It's completely different when you're also like running the stream as well. Right, like I just remembered to put Lucas Lenoff as a placeholder in the YouTube chat. All right, I'm on the clock here. I should go wide receiver here, but again, with quarterbacks going up, I'm not going to take the chance on this guy getting taken. It's a Spencer Petras rebound year at Utah State, baby.
I hate you, Jared. I was actually looking at him.
Nope, I'm not letting that happen.
Because he doesn't have week 6 bye.
Yes. I will drive your pain, Justice. This will be great. Justice, the rule of this draft is that when people are listening to you talk about what you need, you realize that every
everybody's gonna be like, who
quarterback,
he's gonna take the weak spot. Yeah, I know.
They're all coming off the board here in the next round. I'm letting you know right now.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt.
All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna load up on some wide receivers here on guys that I like because I'm actually kind of surprised. Well, Reb took one of them there with Devin McEwen. That's good stuff right there. I am going to take. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just start taking shots on wide receivers I like. I love Damon Ward there at North Texas. Only outside guy returning there. Maybe they move Landon Sides or DT Sheffield to the outside. That could be interesting, but Damon Ward was second lead receiver last year. I highly doubt they're really going to replace him. And, that top end wide receiver for Eric Morris's offense tends to be pretty dang good. So I'm gonna rely on that there. And I think I will certainly have to start loading up on more and more wide receivers as the draft goes here. Let's see. Fox Goose in the chat says, is there really positive correlation for a quarterback and their running back in college best ball? I don't know if it's different from best ball to redraft, but a lot of leagues that I've won with in the past have been because I have found a good stack between a quarterback and their running back in terms of, that one of those two guys is going to touch the ball on any given play. So like a good example was a couple of years ago when I had both Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Zach Charbonnet on the same roster. And that basically carried me to a championship because it was a 40-point per game offense. And one of those two guys was going to touch the ball on any given play. I think of last year, right, where Caden Salter and Quentin Cooley were a dangerous combination for people to have on the same team, where you do one of those two guys can get the ball any given play there. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Luke, Justice, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't really, I don't generally try and draft players from the same team. If I do, it's going to be a quarterback receiver stack. But like, that's not like a strategy like that I say, oh, I got to do this, or I want to do this, or I need to do this. It's happened sometimes for sure, but it's not purposeful, I guess.
Nope, understandable. All right, Luke, you're on the clock here, man. What you looking at?
I'm looking at running back and wide receiver, and I think I'm going to go with wide receiver because I need me some wide receivers. So I think I'm going to go with Chase Sewell there for East Carolina. Did a interview with them what was it, a couple weeks ago? I think it dropped this last week.
All right.
Feel pretty good about him being the number one there. Caitlin Hauser comes in. I think all tides lift all ships or something like that. They're pirates, they're ships. We're getting it. I'm going to go with Chase Sewell there. Chalk, that's a good pick.
Tides raise all boats, I think is the term.
There you go.
For.
There we go. We're pirates. We're taking.
All right. I feel better because at least I've locked up Washington State. Still don't have my week six covered, but it could be worse. I could have lost Sevy, and I'd be really in a big pickle, right? So I figured I'm just going to go ahead and lock that up. So I feel good about my quarterbacks.
And I think that pick there with Floyd Chalk there was pretty solid as well. I think a guy with potential 20 touch upside per game, depending on how that offense rolls this year.
And he should be the goal line guy too.
It's hard to imagine anybody, or it's hard to imagine finding anybody else with that kind of touch upside at running back this late in the draft right now.
Do we have? I'm looking for my pick here. Maybe a placeholder for San Diego State in. Why am I forgetting the tight end Colorado transfer?
Michael Harrison.
That's another good one. No, nobody's taking a placeholder for him yet. I think that's a great. First of all, great pick. And also, are you really going to load up on 3 tight ends, bro?
I think I am. I might have to have them be playing some flex spots for me here. So I'm going
Well, Harrison does have dual eligibility.
That's true.
So I'll put there as Jude Wolf
Jude Wolf.
is Michael Harrison.
Sounds good. All right, let me put that in the YouTube chat as well. Tight end, San Diego State. Cool. Question for you guys from Mike Bainbridge saying, who was the best interviewee so far on the G5 Hive so far?
I think I speak
UMass?
for us both, but yeah, UMass. He was a student, junior. Mike Maynard. Yeah, by far. Like we both, like we walked away super impressed by him. He's got a bright future. Like I said, he's only a junior in college, but
Wow.
he was knowledgeable. He spoke very well. Great information. Yeah, I mean, no hesitation on that answer.
All righty.
Yeah, and I would feel like usually we get through. It takes us like a good one will take us like 40 minutes to get through, and like he answered all the questions, and they kind of led into the next question, and they did this, and we were done in like a half an hour. Like that was like the fastest one we've ever done. Like that was, he killed it. He did a great job.
I'm feeling not so great about wide receiver all of a sudden once Dylan Goffney and Lewis Brown go off back-to-back picks there between Corey and Asul. Not fun, y'all. Not fun at all. So, all right, I guess I'm going to start loading up more at wide receiver because, man, y'all done took everybody I wanted. So we're going to have to adapt. But you know what? There's guys on the board that I like, and we can make it work. So let's see. Yeah, John Lobb saying he loves the triple tight end strategy by Luke. I don't blame him. But I gotta.
Odds are in my favor. I might have the highest scoring tight end each week.
That is actually, that's a very, very, very true thing. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Oh boy, another quarterback that doesn't have a week 6 bye. Let me go ahead and take that. I'll take Caden Hauser of East Carolina, who Luke brought up earlier.
Hey, like I said, I'm not as panicked as I was now that at least I got Washington State locked up. So
that's true. Again, that should be a very, very productive offense. And let's see what I can get back here at wide receiver. You know what? I'll go ahead and lock up North Texas's wide receiver. Clint put it in the chat earlier that me banking on Damon Ward having a year 6 breakout, which I would say Ward's already broken out considering he was wide receiver 2 last year. But regardless, I'll go ahead and lock it up. Give me Landon Sides, the second-year receiver there. Broke out last year already. Played in the slot, but I can absolutely see them moving him around considering just how good of a wide receiver he is in general. I don't love taking the slot in Eric Morris's offense, but let's bank on one of those two guys breaking out. And quite frankly, that's a path to a top 20 wide receiver in all of CFF, let alone in G5 only.
When we spoke with Brett Vito about North Texas, Landon Sides was one of his. He gave us 2 breakout players, and Landon Sides was one of them. So, good pick.
All right, Mike.
There you go. There, Mike takes another quarterback that didn't have a week 6 bye.
Oh man, I love this. This might be my favorite stream we've done all year. Not like I love obviously everybody else I brought on, but man, just the chaos of this draft. Guys, we're a third of the way through this draft already, and we're already like scraping in some of these teams, right? Now there's some guys that there's definitely some teams and players that I like here. We're just gonna have to start taking shots eventually here, but this has been a ton of fun, man. This has been so fun.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
All right, Luke, you're back on the clock here. You gonna take a 4th tight end, Luke?
There's a lot of options here. That could definitely be something that I do, but I think I want to take. Let's see here. I think I'm going to take. I think I'm going to be taking a wide receiver, and I've got the quarterback. So we'll see about Corey Rucker.
Alrighty.
There, Arkansas State. He's got to throw it to somebody, right?
I'd agree.
So we'll take Corey Rucker. That gives me my plan for the next pick.
Now That was a good pick by Ethan there with Landon Ransom. Seems like Justice agrees.
Well, no, just the quarterback frustrations. I find a guy that doesn't have a week 6 bye. He's got a week 10 bye, so he doesn't do me any good either. Oh man.
Let's see. I'm looking at a couple of guys. Let me see. Oh, yep. One of the guys that I think still on the board that's pretty good value at quarterback has a week 6 bye.
Yeah, it's probably the same one. Well, not the same one, but he's one I looked at earlier and had a week 6. And I'm like, And then I found another one. He's got a week 6.
I mean,
I found another one. He's got a week 10.
I see a Northeast quarterback here that you might want to consider with a week 8 and a week 11 bye.
From the Northeast.
I feel bad for Justice at this point, so I'm gonna help him find some guys.
All right, this guy is going to be a placeholder.
Okay.
Okay. Was
Sloan.
it Sloan? Yeah. If you can post that for me.
Yes, sir. I can. Who is that? B. Evans.
Yeah.
Braden Evans. Equals, was it Braylon Sloan?
Braden Sloan, yeah.
Running back, Ball State. Alrighty.
Every time I look up, they all got freaking. I'm gonna have to do something else. I ain't got enough time to figure out who doesn't have a week 6 and week 10 bye.
You'll find someone one day, Justice. They're out there. There's plenty of fish in the sea, I say, as we are only dealing with 60-something starting quarterbacks. I like the Courtney Jackson pick. I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, I had to buy myself some more time here. Mike really messed me up taking Brown because that was the guy.
Oh, very, very unfortunate. I like the Anthony Simpson pick. This is very going to quickly turn into, man, I'm going to compliment picks that I never thought I'd be complimenting in a CFF draft at this point. So we'll definitely see. Luke, you're on the clock here. Who are you looking at?
I'm looking at the wide receiver position. Looked at the tight ends, didn't find anybody I wanted this time. I think I'll just keep looking there until there's somebody there that I really want. Let's see here. I'm looking at about 30 seconds. Wow, things are happening quick. So I got that guy here. What is the team? I've got a team I'm thinking of, and I cannot for the life of me think of the conference that they're in. No.
We got 5 seconds, Luke. Okay. Taking another shot at the rice.
Yep. I just kind of like what they're going to do there. I think they're going to be able to spread the ball around. So I think I want a piece of that. We'll see if the guy that I wanted will slip through to the next round. I believe he will. It'll be a pretty quick pick if that is the case. Yeah. I've got actually a couple guys.
I kind of like that Cam Fancher pick there. Again, a guy that's kind of underratedly a dual threat guy.
He has a week 6 bye, though.
Yeah, week 6 bye. And
same with Jenkins.
I would say Jenkins.
I would have taken them last round, but they both have week 6 byes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very frustrating right now out there with the quarterbacks you're having to take. But I like that Fancher pick. Again, sneakily dual threat guy. We know Tom Herman can do well with dual threat quarterbacks there. He's got some starting experience under his belt. Pretty solid pick there, Corey. I like it. Let's see. What's Mike going to do now? He's probably got to force himself to take a quarterback here, right? Again, I got a couple guys in my queue that make sense, but it's definitely a dried up position. Keith knows for a fact there's one quarterback that it's two quarterbacks. There are two starting quarterbacks out there that I'm actually curious, Heath. You know the two I'm talking about because we talked about them in person. I'm curious where those two guys end up coming off in this draft because, man, they're making it further than I thought they would already. Is Alex Adams still?
Yes. He's recovering from injury, but yes, he's still there.
I did not know that. Well, I'm gonna take my second tight end here, a guy that I like. That in my projections, I actually had to dial back the number of receptions I was giving him because if I gave him the number that I thought he deserved, he would jump up to tight end 3 for me, and that doesn't feel right because I don't think this is that great of an offense. But even still, he's replacing two great tight ends at his system last year. I'm going to take Reese Clark, tight end out of Temple, and we'll roll with that. I sound excited about that, but man, that just tells you where we're at in this draft. So,
And I'm still trying to find a quarterback that I like. I've been doing it for like 4 rounds now, and I just can't find somebody like.
I like the Hanshaw pick there.
The no Q, and the Q is. I mean, the no bye weeks and the Q is killing me.
All right, I'm going to take a guy here. There's some other running backs that I want to take a shot on, but I'm going to go ahead and take a guy here that is going to be in an offense, is going to run the ball a ton. It's probably going to be detrimental in terms of what their game script is going to look like, because I expect this to be a very bad team. But you know what? He was close to 1,000 yards last year. I'll take it again. Hometown boy here. Give me Michael Benefield, the running back out of Kennesaw State.
I'll be right back. I got to take care of something here.
All good. Ooh, I love that Dylan Morris pick there from Justin Nottingham. That snuck under the radar for me right there. Excellent pick there, Justin. Love that one. So let's see. By the way, we are almost halfway through our draft. Again, appreciate all of you guys who've been commenting in the chat. We haven't had a ton of questions tonight, though. Again, it's a G5-only draft tonight. So if you have a team that you have been wondering about on the G5 level, please just drop the team into the chat. Let us know who you want us to talk about. Again, Justice and Luke probably know more about these teams than anybody else in the space right now. They'll probably be able to give you deeper answers than I think anybody else will. So, yeah.
I got a question for you, Jared. So I'm assuming you've been able to listen to 1 or 2 of those episodes. What has been your favorite team to listen to? And then what's a team that you're looking forward to hearing that you either haven't downloaded and listened to yet, or that we have not covered?
The team that I was probably most impressed with, I loved the guy you got on for UTSA. I know obviously probably the premier UTSA beat reporter is the guy they have over there at 247, but the guy you guys brought on, I thought broke down the team really, really well. I enjoyed that podcast quite a bit. In terms of teams that I want to hear about the most, I'm trying to remember again who you guys have covered and who you guys haven't. Have you guys put out a Western Kentucky one yet?
No.
I would love to hear about. I would love to hear more about Western Kentucky. Right? Obviously, we got guys like Dalvin Smith, but Easton Messer's still there. TJ Finley. How are they dealing with the quarterback room? Right? How does Michael Matheson play into everything here? That again, we love Western Kentucky. People seem to be fading them this year. I'd love to hear directly from the beat reporters. Do they deserve to be faded right now?
All right.
I am on the clock in a supplemental draft, so I'm gonna go do that real quick. Corey Cavender is asking, have you guys interviewed anybody for FAU yet?
No, we have not. That'll probably be near the end, but no, we haven't.
That is going to be one that I will be heavily interested in as well, because obviously, I like Amari Hayes, but I'm not 100% confident that he'll actually even be starting for them. So
there goes one of the Liberty guys that, in my mind, is in contention for wide receiver 1.
Yeah, let's see. Who asked that question way back at the beginning? It was Goose, right? Goose, I hope you're still listening. Devontae Lee, one of the names that you're probably looking at there.
He's a transfer from FCS. He was he was probably the favorite heading out of spring, but they brought in a ton of transfers after the spring.
Alrighty. Let's see. I'm going to start loading up.
Good news! I found a quarterback. Now let's see if Shane. See if Shane and Ethan don't take him.
Shane and Ethan are absolutely about to take him. I'm going to see if I can find him real quick. See who it is.
You probably won't guess, but I mean, quarterback's pretty daggone thin.
Let's see. Let me see if it's this guy I'm thinking of. Oh, Zach Evans coming off the board there. So you have your opportunity here. Justice?
Goose Crowder, Troy.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, he doesn't excite me, but he's definitely the starter. Troy, did okay last year, and Gunnar Watson was okay, and so I feel like Goose can at least be adequate, right, for my bye weeks.
Alrighty.
And I was gonna take Zach Evans, so now I gotta figure out who else I want here.
All right, Justice and Luke, we'll get through your picks. Todd asks a pretty interesting question here in the chat. We're already going pretty deep in this draft. I imagine we'll probably hit on one or two of these type of players here by the time we get to the finish of this draft, because good Lord, I still can't believe we're not even halfway through this draft and we're drafting some of the players that we're looking at right now. How long before you guys think we get to the point where we're drafting like handcuffs on a pretty consistent basis, right? Like I know, Justice, you already taken Zevi Eckhouse to handcuff to Mateer there, but in terms of, at one point you're, again, guys will dry up that are starting that you're pretty confident about at this point here relatively soon. Is that a strategy you guys will employ, or are you going to try to just hit as many starters as you can?
I mean, I think if I don't want to speak to some of these other quarterback battles, but if I had one that was 50-50, I think I'd be, I already did. I already took the backup. So you're playing with fire if you don't take the backup, in my opinion.
That was definitely a subtweet to a certain guest host we have here in terms of his quarterback situation. Let's see if Luke can figure that out. Luke, you also took Elijah Canyon. Is that your other shot at wide receiver for Liberty?
That is Justice. Is that the guy that you were also thinking?
Dante Lee and Elijah Canyon, I feel like are the two safest bets, the two that I'm willing to bet on. So yeah, those are the two Liberty guys.
All right, Luke, we're through your picks now. Justice and Luke. Todd Skids in the chat asks G5 freshman stashes, for deep dynasty leagues.
Jalen Washington, Southern Miss.
Yep. I would say mine, it's not even really a stash because I actually expect him to start this year, but Damian McDaniel, wide receiver out of UNLV. Potentially your next Ricky White in that offense pretty soon, like sooner rather than later, depending on how true the reports out of camp have been. So that's probably my true freshman G5 guy that I would throw out there. Luke, you got anybody? Luke, you there? Did we lose you?
Myers out of Charlotte. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Start over again. I think I lost internet there for a second.
I don't think Myers isn't a true freshman though.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's red shirt.
Let's see here. I'm kind of going through my guys.
I've seen people refer to him as a true freshman, but he's not. He's a transfer in.
I guess I'll give it a minute before I say anything. There's a couple that I want to make sure I get.
I gotcha. It's definitely it's one of those drafts. Now that I've mentioned Damian McDaniel, he'll be off the board here within the next couple of rounds. I am kind of surprised that Carlos Hernandez is still on the board here at Washington State. Like, again, we took shots on, Hudson, Meredith. I mean, Kyle Williams went off early in this draft, but Carlos Hernandez is going to be that other wide receiver on the outside there. And we saw last year between Josh Kelly and Kyle Williams that, like, if that offense is going, they'll both have weeks where they're going to be pretty productive for you in CFF. Now, I'm not going to try to guess which one goes off on any given week, right? But for now, like, I'll take a shot at two different guys there in that offense. So I think I'm also going to take another wide receiver here. I'll probably, given how late I end up going with wide receiver, I'm probably going to have to load up on some of these mid-tier guys. A lot of guys I kind of like, though. I will not lie.
I wish I had my 14-1 over again.
I'm on the board here.
I was in panic mode, and I would have taken somebody else, but
that guy tells you exactly the stress. Like, Justice comes in here talking about he's got 487,000 guys in his queue, and he's rushing in his 14th pick to figure out a guy.
The whole quarterback thing really kind of really just really messed me up, man. It did. It really threw me for a loop.
All right, I just take a shot.
So we have not done. Nick Nick McMillan. We did a Buffalo interview. I believe it was last week, right, Justice? So that
Yeah,
has
so
not
that comes
dropped
out
yet,
Friday of this week.
But he is a bright spot for this team.
I would say, I'm like, please tell me that was not a wasted pick. That
No,
Nick
well,
McMillan's
the
actually
problem
guy we
with
want.
Buffalo is who's going to play quarterback. That's a problem.
For sure.
And they don't know.
For sure. Yeah, Todd Skid's just put in the chat asking, like, where Clint Carlson said it was Oregon State the only team that hadn't had a guy drafted yet, and we just saw 2 Oregon State guys go off in the last picks there. Carp. Tyron Smith is not at UTEP anymore, so I'm going to throw that back to you. I don't know if you're listening, but Tyron Smith is now at Cincinnati, so he does not count for this draft. So hope you're listening and you're not super confused as to why you're back on the clock. But yeah, I think, Clint, at this point, every team has had at least one person drafted. Again, UMass has gotten somebody drafted. UL Monroe. UL Monroe has any? I don't think anybody from UL Monroe's been taken. Which I don't advise anybody taking anything from.
I couldn't blame you.
Also,
I do not know what the over/under is on them, but I think I would take the under for the year.
I would be. Okay, I'm take that slack. I keep getting.
So nice pick there, Chris Lewis. Folks that don't know, he is battling cancer. He had surgery in the spring. Going through chemo and all that, and he hopes to play in the fall. But if you're so inclined to help Chris with his medical expenses, there's a GoFundMe. If you go to the G5Hive page, you can find you can search and find a tweet where we tweeted it out. So, and also if you go to our YouTube page, probably the easiest way to find it is go to our YouTube page, look at the shorts. We did a short on Chris Lewis. In that video description is a link to Chris Lewis's GoFundMe.
Absolutely, I'm glad you guys said that. If Justice, can you DM me either on Twitter or Slack the link to that, and I can add it to the description of this stream as well. Shane, good pick there with Robert Freeman. He's been somebody I've been taking a look at there. Ethan loading up on the North Texas backfield.
I get to fix my pick at 14-1, so to speak.
All right, there's Amari Hayes.
Now what am I gonna do? Let's see.
Great. Now what do I do? Let's see. Ethan's asking and I think that's our first Navy player off the board right there.
Yeah, Navy fullback should be okay in this type of format.
And Ethan takes the potential backup or potential starter at Arkansas State there in Timmy McClain. Luke, in my opinion, it's a non-zero chance that Timmy McClain starts for Arkansas State this year. Are you feeling a little worried about not being able to kind of grab both of those guys?
0. Negative 500. I do not feel worried.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Can you not hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. I'm not worried at all. And it's best ball, so I'm not here to draft handcuffs and backups here. Like, okay, I did Canyon and Lee. I think in a Liberty offense, both of them might be able to be usable. Like I'm shooting for the moon. Like the whole tight end thing of grabbing 3 of those guys. Well, I got them. You guys don't. So, I can use like 2 of them if they happen to. So it's kind of like I'm not like if it's a battle, I'm gonna use confidence in the guy that I pick and go with that. And if I was wrong, I was wrong. That's kind of what I was going with. Maybe it's the wrong decision because we're only in the G5 and it's good to hedge your bets, but all or nothing. If you're if as the great Ricky Bobby once said, if you ain't first, you're last.
No, and I think that goes into Ethan Sowers' question here in the chat, saying like in drafts with smaller player pools like this, are you more or less likely to take chances early in drafts? I agree with you, Luke. In a draft like this where it's winner take all, like you either win or you lose, right? Like you get first place or nothing. Like if you take some shots on guys and you're sitting there at the end of the draft being like, oh, I got second place or I got 12th place, it doesn't matter, right? All that matters is you get first place at the end. You got to pick guys that you think are going to get you over that finish line. So Speaking of, I'm going to continue to grab some guys at quarterback here while everybody else is kind of loading up on their late wide receivers and running backs. I'll take Cade McConnell at UTEP.
Did you just read my lips?
No, I did not actually. I did. I'm looking forward to going back.
I literally just mouthed Cade McConnell, and I was like, and as soon as I said, I'm like, oh crap.
Let's see. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna take another quarterback here. I normally don't have 5 quarterbacks in the first 16 rounds, but again, given just how many guys have come off the board, like I might as well. And I think I'm probably gonna take another running back here because I've been going heavy wide receiver recently. Yes, I think I will. And Lee Baby came off the board earlier. I'm a big Lee Baby fan. My problem is that I think that there's still a non-zero chance that Isaiah Jacobs comes back from injury and could still be that lead backfield there. I don't truly believe it, but at this point in the draft, there's no other real options at running back, so I'll take the shot on Isaiah Jacobs.
Yeah, I don't mind that there with Jacobs. They have a 50-50 kind of backfield there with about 13 touches last year with Isaiah Jacobs and Jermaine Brown Jr. So both of them will get run. So I don't mind that.
I'm not surprised because I literally just did UMass's player team profile for the CFF guy. But how the hell is Frank Ladson still playing college football? I could have sworn that man graduated 3 years ago, but here he is. Couple of quick questions in the chat here. Todd Skids asks, thoughts on Tylan Hines? Is there a bigger boom bust pick? I think he's mostly bust pick. If he didn't pop off last year, he's not going to pop off for Hawaii. It's just not a system that utilizes the running back. There was talk of him playing in the slot last year. It just never really came to fruition. I don't think that we're looking at a bounce back season for Tylan Hines, especially with them not changing the system or him not changing what system he's playing in.
I think if he does, it's going to be as a receiver. It's not going to be as running back.
No, absolutely not.
Yep, that's what I don't think it'll be a guy that you want this year.
I mean,
I was all in last year and it just did not work.
Yeah, I was all in last year too.
I mean, Todd,
I owned a lot of them.
Todd, you say last year was injury, but again, that's just not a system that historically is produced with running back. Again, unless we get word that he's moving full-time to wide receiver, I just don't see it. Let's see. Clint Carlson.
Nice pick, Luke. Nice pick.
Yeah, with George Pedway, I like that. Clint Carlson says...
typically... No, go ahead.
I was saying, Clint Carlson said, should I be embarrassed that I have drafted a handful of guys regularly in full FBS drafts that are still on the board? I wouldn't say embarrassed because, again, Clint, you're a very smart guy. Ethan, we're going to back that up because Jordan Smith is out of eligibility.
Well, he better not take Bouchard or I'm going to, chop his head off.
Jesus!
Wow, that escalated very quickly.
We got Shane took Woldridge, who I believe had a foot injury or broken foot, so he'll be coming back from that this year. So that's something to keep in mind.
Is Jack Coldiron still around?
He is. Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Another name I thought was long gone in CFF from CFF relevancy. Clint said most of the people that he would have drafted in full FBS drafts have gone off the board since then. Honestly, I like the Ben Woldridge pick there from Shane Whitehead. Again, if you can find any starting quarterback this late at this point, I think that's a pretty solid one. And Jack Turner, even if he is a starting quarterback, I'm not sure. Even in a format like this, I would love rostering him. But
how many quarterbacks does Mike have now?
Mike has 5 quarterbacks. Mike's in the same boat as me, where we pretty much have our starting quarterbacks.
Well, I at least have all my buys covered now for quarterbacks.
Who's the Navy quarterback? Has he come off the board? Yeah, I see Bryson Daly came off there in the 17th round.
Oh, Blake Horvath.
Is it Horvath?
Yep.
He might be somebody that people will take a shot on here, but actually, I hope people take a shot on. Oh, Cole Pennington, love that pick there, Luke.
That's I was looking at him, Luke, but I thought Boucher, John Boucher was the safer option, so that's why I went with Boucher over Cole Pennington.
So if people aren't aware, Marshall is known for running the ball. They kind of they bring in, I'm trying to remember the coach's name, but he was a tight end coach there at Purdue.
Seth Doege.
Seth Doege.
And he was previously he was a quarterback under Mike Leach, right? And then he coached under another air raid. I'm trying to remember who that was.
Graham Harrell at Purdue.
Graham Harrell. So he's going to have like some sort of air raid. Now, it might not be full on air raid.
Is Graham Harrell really air raid? I thought we dispensed
He is.
with this.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, but it's not like it's a different version of air raid per se than Mike Leach, right? Like the running backs aren't involved.
Yeah, I guess it's fair.
And I went with earlier in the 16th round. I went with Ethan Payne, and I picked him because when we did our interview with Marshall Thundering Herd, they like him because of his pass blocking and feel like he's going to be out there quite a bit doing the pass blocking, and then that can be there for the dump offs, and they know that he's got great hands. I know earlier Houston went, looks like Asel 8018 took him. He's got some good hands too there I think he came in there from NC State. But they definitely know what they have there in Ethan Payne, and so if they are able to take, this air raid or modified air raid and throwing the ball, I like Payne to be out there a lot and getting those targets if they happen to be going to the running back at all.
I agree. Again, Payne is definitely an underrated receiving back. Again, people kind of question whether or not he would be a good replacement for oh my God, why am I blanking on his name all of a sudden? Running back Marshall last year.
Rasheen
Ali. They're questioning whether he'd be a good replacement, and I agree because they are not similar type of backs at all. But he might do well in a receiving role. All right, I'm going to take a shot on the Memphis system here. Again, obviously Rock Taylor and Blake Humsey went off earlier, but if one of those guys goes down, I'll take a shot with Kobe Drake here. And then we'll see what I can get on the way back here. Do I continue to roll? You know what? I'm probably going to go running back because I'm kind of surprised really any of these guys are still on the board for this system. I probably should have gone back-to-back here with this system in terms of who I wanted to take my shot on here, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Oh, Shaddis Preston was one of the guys I was looking at. That's a good pick. That was one I was considering coming back here. Let's see if Rebs is kind to me and lets me have the running back that I want. And we wait. Let's see. Again, definitely.
Zach Larrier is not at Air Force anymore.
Yeah, I would say we're going to back that one up. That is not the quarterback at Air Force anymore. Rebs, if you are listening.
He's moved on.
Yes, sir. He has. All right. So he takes the backup quarterback there at Louisiana in Chandler Fields. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at the Oregon State running back room. I'll take Anthony Hankerson, the transfer from Colorado there. I like both of the freshmen that they're bringing in between Hatcher and Saladin Allah. I like both of those guys as well, but I do think that they'll have at least 1 year of one of their top end guys between Hankerson or Jameis Griffin. One of those guys will pop off for Oregon, I think, Oregon State this year, especially if they're playing a Mountain West schedule. I feel pretty solid about that. Naeem Simmons, is he?
I think he's still there.
This is the point in the draft where we're going to really have to start asking these kind of questions.
I'm pretty sure Naeem Simmons is still there. Braden Bennett's a good pick. I was considering him with my next pick.
I'm going to pull up our handy dandy 2024 C2C winning edge returning production database here, and that'll be my go-to place to determine whether somebody's back or not.
Rich, all right.
USF, there they are.
It's a good pick, Carp Hankins with dual eligibility.
Yeah, at this point, absolutely.
He's one of the guys that's going to take some carries away from Mahdi. So at this point, that's a great pick.
All right, wide receiver. Yes, Naeem Simmons is back. So good pick there, Justin. I like that pick with Naeem Simmons. Bit of a boomer bust pick, but in a best ball, 19th round of a G5.
The perfect pick for best ball.
Perfect pick. I agree. So let's see what else we got going on. Again, reminder to the chat, if y'all got questions, feel free to send them to us. If you got any teams that you want to hear about from our friends here at the G5 Hive, they'll probably get better answers than I will be able to give you guys most weeks in terms of the depth of some of these teams. So this is your chance. If you're listening to it later,
It's a good pick, Corey. Good pick. He should be in the John Lee Eldridge role. Shane, brother, you're killing me, brother. Those are my two picks. I was going to take Carter and Braden Bennett. So back to the drawing board for me.
oh, that's rough. That is rough. I'm like digging through all of these teams right now, trying to find whatever I can. Oh my goodness, this is gonna die real quick. Oh, I see a guy that I kind of like potentially, maybe. Got volume.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else he's got though.
Justice, you're going to need to pick. You're on the clock. You know.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
want you to feel. I want you to feel a little bit of the heat, though.
I am.
I want you to know. You
So
are on the
I'm going to
clock.
take this guy, but his team is wrong in Fantrax.
Okay.
So
Yep.
should be
Jackson Warren.
Colorado State, not Ball State.
Well, he was initially committed to Ball State, and then I think he dropped his national letter of intent, and now is at Colorado State. So, alrighty, let's see what else we got going on here. Oh man, it's bleak out here, y'all.
That's a good pick. I was thinking about taking him, Udo there, but I took Castle instead of Udo. I definitely like him. He breakout.
Yeah, I mean he had like 100 yards. He had 100 yards rushing against LSU last year. Now he didn't do much other than that.
I would say so did everyone and their aunt.
Well, I mean, but he's a freshman. I think I expect more out of him this year at Army. I mean, if I'm going to pick an Army guy, he's far and away the number one Army guy I'm going to pick.
Nope, totally understand that. I'm going to do some checking here real quick. Yes, I'm just making sure I have the right guy in mind. So,
Right.
Luke, you're back on the clock. We're 2/3 of the way through here. And then, Justice, you have a question tailor-made for you from Clint Carlson asking, Old Dominion brought in a supposedly good offensive mind last year at OC. Do they really not have anyone who has a high-ish upside this year?
I mean, it's I don't think so. The talent is not great. I think Ricky Ronnie is a good coach. I mean, I'm wearing a Jason. Yeah, there is absolutely Jason Henderson, linebacker, All-American, Old Dominion. Boom, done. I don't know if you can see it. I'm wearing a Jason Henderson jersey tonight, but
Do you think you're the only person in the world that has that jersey, Justice?
I know for a fact I'm not the only person in the world. His parents sit a couple rows in front of me, and they all wear Jason Henderson jerseys.
Wow, what a large fan base.
Well, I mean, you have to get them made, because the school does not sell them. Even mine's got an Under Armour logo, a Sunbelt Conference logo, but it definitely came from the black market over in China off of DH Gate.
Nice.
And so, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like for I paid $34. This thing is this tackle twill, hand sewn. It looks like a legit, real deal jersey.
Very nice. Also, real quick reminder to everybody in the chat. Again, obviously, appreciate the questions you guys have been rolling in here. But also, if you have not gone ahead and liked, subscribed, I should have said this at the top of the show. I've been bad about that the last couple of weeks, but go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. It helps us get in front of people's eyeballs who might be interested in this kind of content. Obviously, we're deep diving on these guys. I imagine there'd be several people who would hop into this stream right now and be like, "Who the heck is S. Smith? Who is S. Lawrence? What are these guys talking about? This is way deeper than I would expect to get into with this." But still, we have a great time here. Obviously, this is honestly probably the most fun I've had with the draft so far this year, just because of the sheer chaos of what we're dealing with here. Although I like that JJ Sparkman pick there from Corey. Carp. I like the Shamari Lawrence pick there. Tariq Williams there from Mike Bainbridge. Honestly, like, obviously we're all talking relative here, but some solid picks coming off the board right now.
I like that Rosa pick there. I also thought I'd be talking more than I am, but I'm just like so locked in, and I'm just like looking and looking. Justice, thank God you are here to make us sound a lot better as opposed to whatever I'm doing over here.
I like that Deshaun poke there, Justin.
Yeah,
Let's see. I'm going to take my shot on.
I like Victor Rosa too this late.
We'll go LV Bunkley Shelton there at Georgia Southern. Again, a little bit of big fish, small pond mentality. Obviously, he didn't do much at Oklahoma, but, you know, third time's a charm, I guess. And then at running back, I am actually going to take a little tidbit from the G5-Hive episode from East Carolina, where they did mention it's probably going to be a committee approach at running back, but the good sir of a guest that you guys brought on did mention that if there's one guy that has the potential to really break out from that committee if things go well, it is Javis Bond. And so I will take.
He has a different skill set than the rest of the guys, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. And he can be an all-around back for them. I like the Anthony Tyus pick here, Justin. I probably should have been more aggressive in locking up that backfield there. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a guy in my queue that I talked about earlier because I think it's right about that time where I should take a look at that. There we go. All righty. Appreciate you guys rolling in the likes there that hadn't already. Again, if you guys are still listening and you hadn't liked the video, go ahead and do that right now. Let's see what we got here. Gotta leave. We still got 10 rounds to go here. Mike Bainbridge puts in Timothy Carpenter.
Cooper Lagasse.
Yeah, it's Cooper Lagasse.
Nice pick, Carp. Nice pick.
Equals Cooper Lega. Thank you, Mike. Now it's official.
For Timothy Carpenter?
Yeah, Timothy Carpenter is Cooper Lega.
I guess that's what I would say is maybe a sleeper freshman. It's Tim Carpenter. They love his arm there. And depending on how that season's going, I can see him getting some playing time. Tulsa has a really, really easy schedule. I mean, it is also Tulsa. So I could see Tim Carpenter also getting some run there towards the end of the season. Maybe get to see him if they can capitalize on that schedule, maybe see a bowl. I could see something with Carpenter this year. I like him.
All right, Mike, given that information, do you want to keep Carpenter as your placeholder, or you want to make him actually on your team there? I'm joking, obviously.
That's another
Mike
good
says,
pick,
do I get scoring for both? Nope, Mike, you got to pick now. Is it Lega
that's a
or
great
Carpenter?
That's a great pick, Corey. Great pick, Corey, this late.
Oh my God, Bailey's still on the board? I didn't even see that. Yeah, no, if Luke's goes down, Bailey could be in for a huge workload there. Yeah, great pick. Luke, you're on the clock here, man. Who are you looking at?
I'm looking at wide receiver. I'm looking at running back. I kind of, really hammered running back there. I got 4 picks there. I'm just trying to count. I don't want, like Felix Sharp or end up with like 100 wide receivers. Gotta figure out what I got to do. All right, Felix? I love you. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna look at maybe here. I'm thinking about just taking a swing. I don't know if he's gonna win the job. He went into the portal. He came out of the portal. But I'm gonna go. Offense looks good on paper. If he happens to be the quarterback for the Green Wave, I kind of like this here in the 21st round.
I am honestly shocked that he was still on the board. I'll be real. Where did Ty Thompson go? He went off 10th round to Justin. I'm kind of surprised that Justin didn't try to take the shot. And
great pick, Shane. I was going to take him this round.
I was kind of surprised that they didn't take that Justin didn't take the shot to try to lock up that quarterback room there. I'm curious if Shane goes for the other option at quarterback there at San Jose State on the way back here. because I do think it's still kind of a 50-50 battle between
He's not going to
those
get
two.
that opportunity.
He is not going to get that opportunity as Justice just rips Shane's poor little heart out. Justice doesn't have his own heart, so he needs to rip it out of other people. So, and Justice, you're just loaded up on these San Jose State guys right now. You take.
I like Sabota. Sabota picked a good one.
It is a good one, and if he didn't have a week 6 bye, I would have taken him. Good pick, even.
Justice is like just been hampered from the very beginning on this week 6 bye at quarterback.
Yeah, it was that was a critical mistake by me in this draft for sure.
Honestly, Shane, sneaky good pick there with Jalen John at UMass. Again, they gotta have somebody, right? Like UMass has actually been decently good at running the ball no matter what. A lot of times we think of these bad teams and we think, oh, they're gonna have to throw the ball because of their game script. UMass does not give a crap. They could be losing be losing 40-0. They're still running the ball as hard as they can. And so, solid pick there, I think, from Shane there. Who is this, Mr. Luke? Who is this? Reggie Harden.
That's a transfer coming from Arkansas State. He was the breakout player by our Arkansas State guest.
Very nice.
And he's got saying that he might be the wide receiver to target, might have a breakout season. He's got tight end eligibility. Sire Gaines, great pick there as a freshman that might get a pick. He was another guy that I was wanted to mention.
Okay, so now it's done happened. Both of you guys let your 50-50 quarterbacks you should have been stacking go.
No, I know. As soon as I saw Malik Williams come off the board, that was absolutely a bad thing on my part.
I was talking to both of you when I said that comment.
But also, oh, Justin, no! All right, well, I'm gonna have to go find a tight end real quick. Christ, that hurts. As much of a 22nd round G5-only tight end.
If you're listening, you need to put the bye weeks in the queue. That's like huge, so huge.
God, that hurt. And there's really nobody left at tight end. This is bad. This is real bad. Guess I'm just gonna have to dumpster dive later. And I'll take a freshman at UNLV. I'll take David McDaniels. I talked about him earlier. Clint Carlson says, I think more Tulsa quarterbacks have been drafted than wide receivers. I don't think you're Tyler. Love that pick from Rebs there.
Yeah,
Alex Perry.
I like that pick. He was a breakout there for Hawaii's. If you got a wide receiver that go down, he might be the one to pick up.
All right, I'm gonna take a meme pick here. That I'm not even sure if he starts for this team this year because the guy ahead of him got injured last year, but apparently he had himself a really good spring, so maybe he holds on to the starting job. Give me Rocky Beers, the tight end out of FIU. But that one hurt. Yeah, Justice with Malik Williams. It's so funny, right? Because like it's an eyes versus ears debate in my head, right? Is Robinson still available at Army?
He's still at Army.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure. Because like I watched Malik Williams in the spring game, and he looked solid, and he looked like he had pretty solid command of that offense. Obviously, Sluka's not coming in until the summer here. He had to finish up his degree there at Holy Cross before he decided to fully transfer. But man, everybody I talked to from UNLV and Rebs can back me up here. Like they're not only confident in Sluka getting that job, they're like actively like stubborn in the fact that like this is Sluka's job.
They are, but fandom is blind sometimes.
Could very well possibly be, but I don't know. If it was just coming from one person, I would consider like, okay, then you just really like this guy. Coming from multiple people, I don't know. I'm a little concerned. Carp Olsen.
Sam Olsen is not. Yeah.
And Sam Olsen is now at Arizona. So go ahead and repick that, Carp. Again, unfortunately, one of those guys that Fantrax has not updated their teams yet. Apologies for continuously sending it back to you there. There we go. Do you think people are just looking at the queue for tight end and just kind of scrolling up and down and then just clicking add?
I don't know. I don't know how much scrolling up and down there is with that end slot. All right, I like that short pick. That was a breakout. He's a track star, super fast guy. So that's a great pick there. I like that. I'm gonna go with wide receiver David Amador.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
his potential
Good
there.
pick.
Oh, let's see here. Justice, I want you to just know you're coming up.
Yeah, I know.
I just want those nerves to start coming. Let's start looking at those 5 week.
Yeah.
So how embarrassing will it be when neither of you win this league?
I mean, it's
I'm
not
sorry,
embarrassing because that means these folks are G5 Hive subscribers,
True.
avid listeners, and we're doing our job.
You know what? You turned that back on me. I will give you credit, Justice. You're on the clock
There
here,
you go,
man. What are
Jeff.
you looking at?
I'm gonna take Jermaine Terry there at tight end for Oregon State. And then I'm not quite sure on my second one. Got a couple different ways to go here.
Shane, Zachary, or Sloan was drafted earlier in the draft, so I need you to re-pick there. Just tell me who you want in the chat, and I'll replace him.
I think I'm going to go with someone I have taken in a regular best ball draft, and that's Trey Goodman, wide receiver UTEP.
Alrighty. Is that one of the guys that came up with?
It's one of the
them?
guys that transferred over from Austin P. Yeah, he would have been wide receiver 1 at Austin P this year, and so I'm thinking he's going to be wide receiver 1 for UTEP.
Shane Watkins has already been drafted. I feel like this is going to be a common theme here in the next couple of rounds. All right, Jay Ducker there. Not at Memphis anymore, as Sam Houston. Obviously, Gentry came off the board much early in the draft, but maybe Ducker. I mean, Gentry wasn't the greatest back last year. Again, they really just had to go with him because he's the only one that could really work. Maybe Ducker gives them an upgrade. I don't mind that pick from Ethan there. So we'll see what Shane's able to do. I was able to find a tight end that I am actually excited to draft here in the 24th round. I will say it's the same story as Justice has with his quarterbacks. Week 6 is brutal for my tight ends, but guess what? Reese Clark is going to carry me on. Hyde and Rick has also been, or never mind. I thought that was Shane again. The orange names threw me off. But yeah, no, Reese Clark's going to carry me week 6, and then the rest of my tight ends are going to be great every week, but week 7. Nope,
Justin Marshall's gone.
Right.
Justin Marshall's gone as well.
Cameron Friel's not there anymore.
Yeah, I think he's.
It was just timed out on him.
I think so. Yeah, Shane. Whenever you find guys that are, I'll throw it back onto him.
Okay.
Problem is Shane's got to find 2 guys. Shane, I'll throw out some names for you here that are still available. I'm seeing in the queue here. Oh my God. Brandon Lewis, Nevada, quarterback.
Ethan Hampton, Northern Illinois.
Jaquez Smith, is he? I think he's already. Oh no, Jaquez Smith's still on the board, so I'll give that to you, Shane. And then who else would you want to replace Zachary there, Shane? Whenever you find another name, let me know. We'll keep the rest of the draft rolling there with Luke.
Let's see here.
Ooh, that's a good pick there. I actually like that, Shane. Iverson Hooks, a guy that was honestly set to break out along with Amari Thomas before he got hurt last year as a true freshman. So I like that pick quite a bit, Shane. We'll see where they go with that.
I'm just going to take, we got a starting running back here that's available in the 24th round. Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State will be running more under center than they have been previously. Give me Frank Peasant there at Middle Tennessee State.
Wait, Shane didn't say Hooks. Oh, son of a gun. That was, again, the freaking... how do you spell this? Mobley. All right, fan tracks are driving me nuts. Mobley is still there at FAU, so we're gonna replace him. There we go. My apologies, Shane. Joseph's orange name is throwing me off. I keep messing that up. So we got your two guys there in Zuberi Mobley and Jacquez Smith. So we're good to go
nice
now.
pick by Corey there with CJ Stokes. I mean, a lot of people think it's
Yeah.
for sure Cartavius Norton, but CJ Stokes has a history with Biff there at Michigan. So yeah, that's a good pick.
All right, CJ Stokes. Has Norton come off the board?
I'm pretty sure.
Might have been one that I just missed earlier. Yeah,
he's not showing up
in the eighth round. In the eighth round, he came off. All right, let's see what we got here. Asul's got 3 seconds left. Make a pick, and Connor Baselak, I don't think is still at.
He's still there.
Oh, he's still there.
He's still there. He was. Him and Camden Orth were both hurt in the spring though, but yeah, he's still there.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what threw me off because I'm pretty sure I was hearing a different name out of Bowling Green for
because those two guys, Bazelak and Orth were hurt, so they didn't play too much in the spring. I believe it was Lucian Anderson who got most of the reps, but he's a true freshman.
Gotcha. All righty, let's see what else we can get going on here. Again, we still got 6. I still got 6 picks left to make. 5 rounds. TJ Mims, it's a starting wide receiver. I don't trust that system to produce a good CFF wide receiver, but it is a starting, lead returning wide receiver. All right, Mathers got taken by Justin Donaham. I'm going to take Mr. Billy Riviere here, who scored at least one long touchdown. I think he might have scored 2 touchdowns in the spring game there for Washington State. That's all I can do at this point is just take upside shots.
I mean,
in a similar vein, I'm going to take a similar vein to Mike Bainbridge's TJ Mims shot there. Justice, we talked about Old Dominion earlier, and you said that there's probably nobody really worth rostering there. But
in this league, there absolutely is people worth rostering, but in a normal league, no.
In a full PPR league, though, I'll take Isaiah Page. Yeah, he'll have the volume. He'll have the volume.
He will definitely have the volume. That's
His
for sure.
Efficiency just sucks.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to catch 8 balls for 43 yards, but hey, it's 8 balls.
I would say that's 12.3 points, and there goes Aaron Young at Old Dominion.
I tell you, I would not draft the Old Dominion running back. You couldn't pay me enough. That's going to be a 4-headed monster, in my opinion, at running back. Aaron Young, Bryce Duke, Devin Roche, and Tariq Sims.
Well, Sims seemed to have a pretty good spring, at least
Sims did have a good spring, but they didn't Duke. They didn't put Duke out there, and Young only played like a series or 2. I expect Young and Duke to be the 1 and 2, and they really like Devin Roche too. But Devin definitely cannot be a workhorse. He's a pretty small guy.
Wow, Lockhart's
Nice
still on the
pick.
board this late. I didn't even see that. That's a blind spot on my part. Wow.
Okay. PJ Hatter, Justice, is that you making that pick?
No. I mean, it's not
Justice
a terrible pick.
loves-
I do
loves
love
Hatter.
some PJ Hatter. I do.
And oh man, look at this. Oh, and
Keyshawn Wicks. Well, we don't know where he's going to be. He's in the transfer portal. Hasn't ended up anywhere. So
has he not ended up anywhere?
He has not ended up anywhere.
That's very unfortunate. Hunter Smith, honestly, I think that's our first UL Monroe player off the board here.
It is.
And why not? Why not? Speaking of, hold on.
What are we thinking we're doing here? What do we think? Let's hear. Let's go.
I don't know.
Looking
That's an answer for you to
receiver
answer
room.
here, Luke.
I think I'm gonna go with a shot here in case something were to happen. UAB wide receiver
Hey, Shanks, yeah.
Cameron Shanks. That's what we'll go here. I got a couple other guys that I'm eyeing. There's guys that I wanted to take. I'm just kind of curious if Justice will take a.
Nope, Shane.
one of
Nope.
those
Back it
guys.
up. Back it up. Back it up, Ethan. Back it up, Ethan. Cartavius Norton's already off the board, Shane. Control
Yeah.
F. Control F is your friend at this point in terms of finding.
I mean, Hashawn Wilson's still there, and he can get carries too. But
That's true. That is very, very true. Barksdale. I mean, it's back on you, Shane. So you got to put it in yourself. Barks. Okay, we'll throw him out. There we go. Barksdale. All right, Ethan, back to you, man. Ay. I still got to draft another quarterback. I got 5 guys, but like, man, I need one more. I need one more. Who can I convince myself is worth having at this point?
well, I'm going to take touchdown Tommy. So you're SOL on that one.
Well, yep, there's one that I was considering. I'm literally looking at quarterbacks right now that are like on teams that I'm going to consider as bottom 5 in the G5 right now. Like, this is actually kind of crazy. The people I'm considering drafting right now. Or do I just lock in? Or do I lock in one of my guys? Oh, Casey Kelly's a good pick there by Ethan Sowers. Eli Sanders there in New Mexico could be interesting, but I don't really trust running backs in Rocco Mendenhall's system. So, but worth a shot here in the 26th round. Again, we're struggling. We are on the struggle bus for sure.
So I think I'm going to take a potential slot guy for one of my quarterbacks. And I will take Raylan.
Yeah, good pick.
Sharp. Might just be a special teams guy, but we'll see here.
Yep,
If I'm trying to remember, I think it was
That's a
Montana
good pick,
State.
Corey. That's a good pick.
Yeah, we got the quarterback at Kansas State again. Not a ton of great quarterback options still left on the board here. But hold on, I just realized something. Not that I should be super excited about this, but given what we're looking at here, I could be very excited about this if I can confirm something real quick. No, never mind. He is gone. Otherwise, he probably definitely would not still be on the board left. Ron Johnson's interesting there at Florida Atlantic, coming over from Buffalo. I've heard great things from spring, but it's hard to get any information out of FAU. So again, another team that if you guys could find a beat writer, I'd love to hear more about the Owls at some point.
Well, I will say we do have everybody set up. It's just reaching out because we didn't want to get too far ahead of our skis. We're trying to schedule them 2 weeks out in advance because of the transfer portal really made some things weird. Like Jacksonville State was on our docket 3 weeks before we actually got our interview done because we had to move things around because of the transfer portal.
Yeah,
now that we're getting towards the end, we've had a lot of our teams that are ambiguous fields that were like, hey, New Mexico State. People are curious on what's going on in New Mexico State. Well, people are leaving there. They need to know what they have. And I kind of want to, we want to wait. And we talk to our people that we have at these different areas that have the ambiguous fields as hey, they want to kind of see as opposed to just assume based off of guys that they brought in the spring that they haven't actually seen. Mm-hmm. Hey, we want to see some of the stuff before we actually do the interviews, which is great for us. You might lose some value when it comes to drafting, but I think it's great.
I agree. All right, I think I'm at the point in the draft where I'm going to try to shore up some of these rooms that have been taking shots on here. Just kind of grab some backups and stuff like that. Trying to think which
Billy
situation
Lucas.
here.
I was looking at Billy Lucas. That was a good one. Yeah, because something happens with Quentin Cooley. Lucas is the man.
All right, I'm gonna take James Griffin. Hopefully, I'm locking up the Oregon State backfield there between those two guys, and Justin Nottingham's just cleaning up the last bits of starting quarterbacks that we have in this G5 draft. I never thought that in a draft like this, we would actually probably see every single starting quarterback go off the board, but here we are. I mean, it makes sense, right? Again, everybody's going to want 5 or 6 quarterbacks.
Nevada. You got Nevada. By my count, you got Nevada, Northern Illinois, Georgia State, Temple.
Yeah, Georgia State. Yep.
Southern Miss, Connecticut, Buffalo, Akron, UL Monroe, New Mexico State.
Yep.
I'm actually a little upset that we're here in the 27th round. I still got 15 guys in my queue that I want, and I can't get all of them.
I still got 147, but
they all have
they all got week 6
Week
buys.
6 bye.
My running back queue has been absolutely cleared. It's just all gone.
My lowest one is tight ends, and I only have 11 tight ends left.
Brag about it.
Bruh.
Oh man, we're getting to the end here, man. Again, I'm pretty much at the point where I'm ready to start. I'm probably almost solely going to be drafting backups, and I have a couple of receivers that I'm still kind of looking at here that I'm willing to take shots on. Clint Carlson says Keith Willis was kicked off the team. Thank you, sir. We'll undo that pick. For Carp, we're back on the clock unless you really, really want to take Willis, who was kicked off the team. Fox,
I guess anybody in the chat.
What was that, Luke?
I was just gonna say if there's anybody in the chat that also has just questions. We're kind of wind down here to the end of it. Anybody else have any questions for
Campiotti's graduated.
for Justice or I?
Yep. I already put it back on him. Sorry, Carp, not to do it to you. Two picks in a row.
You want a tight end, Carp? Weston Wolf, South Florida.
There you go. That was one I was looking at earlier. Fox Q says in the chat that Marty Goodwin's actually not a bad pick there, UAB. Fox Q said, great video as usual, y'all gotta run. I will not be participating in a G5 only league this year. Yeah, this is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah,
This is not for the faint of heart.
Let's see here.
I got 3 picks and I got 4 guys I really want.
I don't think there's anybody left that I really, really want. But again, there's some guys that like, there's one guy that I've taken a share of in a lot of drafts that like, again, I'm feeling what Clinton said earlier, where he was like, is it embarrassing that in a 30-round league like this, there's still a guy on the board that I've pretty regularly taken in drafts? Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed. I will not lie. Clearly,
there's some guys I'm surprised. Yeah, that haven't been taken yet.
Yeah, I'll take my shot on him here in the 28th round. I'm not going to let him be a last round pick unless somebody else takes him here. But Luke,
So
you're on the clock.
Another Liberty running back.
Yep,
They're going to
there you
have a running back by committee. I'm going to take Von Blue. Everybody was very excited about him last year. He had a shoulder injury this spring. Injuries last year, but they would like to use him in the passing game, full point PPR league. Give me some Von Blue here in the 27th round.
Good pick.
Clint, I'm curious if it makes it back to my pick if we're thinking of the same guy. Because I'm going to take him here at the end. We'll see how that where that gets me.
See if I can figure out who you're talking about. Can we get a hint on position?
No, because I'm at the point where now I really want him.
Gotcha.
I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, nope, he's probably the best value on the board in my mind. Let's go ahead and do that. Clint says he's got dual eligibility. I
don't
definitely not thinking of the same guy then.
Yeah.
Definitely not thinking of the same guy at this point, unless it's a quarterback maybe. But I'm not thinking of a quarterback. I'm done drafting quarterbacks. All right, let's keep it going. Again, I can tell we're really dragging out these last couple of rounds. People are. I can tell everybody's having a deep dive into their.
This is more a pick out of just like being smart versus someone that I really want. But given Chandler Morris's injury history, I'm going to take the only other quarterback that has a pulse at North Texas, and that's Cash McCullum. He is a true freshman. They do like him.
I was a true freshman, right?
He is a true freshman. They do like him. He looked good in the spring. He was there for spring. But Stone Earl left, and they don't have any. Reese Mooney left. They don't have anybody else. So
wait, did Reese Mooney leave already?
Yeah, Reese Mooney is at UL Monroe.
That's right. Yes, I do. I do remember that now. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. Mooney's been on quite the journey. He was at Liberty, now North Texas, and then now UL Monroe.
Oh, here I am talking instead of making my other pick.
Tell me about it. I'd like to Reese Mooney and see how his journey's gone. I think he's going to try that baseball there.
I'm curious. Anybody who's in the draft that's listening right now, anybody going to draft the general? You know who I'm talking about?
Now. I just had him. No one's going to take him, so I don't. I'll give it to you here in a second as soon as I find the guy.
It'd be really funny if Ethan took him on the next pick.
No, Ethan's not going to take him.
No, Ethan takes Rocco Griffin.
No, I've had this guy queued up for a while. He just keeps falling and falling and falling. And I'm at this point, I'm going to
Okay, this is what we're going to do here.
Ooh, like the Pat Garwo pick there, Luke. That honestly,
Javen Jacobs, New Mexico.
Jacobs. There we go. There you go. I wonder if that's the guy that Clint's been thinking about.
I don't know. He's someone that the three of us talked about, I don't know, way back in whenever. March.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, it was like one of your guys' first, like, sleepers.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the Clay pick here, Carp. There's a guy that a lot of people are kind of looking at him becoming the number 2 back potentially last year before people were reminded that Rodriguez Clark still exists. All right, let me keep it going here. Mike, don't take my guy, Mike. Don't take my guy, Mike. Because you're probably the one person I'm kind of afraid will take my guy. Actually, no. Justin Nottingham's usually one to take my guys as well, so. Oh, I like the Micaiah Shaw pick there. A fun little pick from San Diego State there. All right. We're good to go. I'll take my guy.
That's a great pick there.
I'll take Nate Bennett, the Sacramento State wide receiver transfer to San Diego State. A lot of good buzz out of him during the spring. Didn't do much during the spring game, which obviously sucks a little bit, but like I still think he'll end up being a starter. I'm willing to take a shot on that offense. Nate Rodemaker, Southern Miss. We still have starting quarterbacks coming off the board. And I'm going to shore up Georgia Southern. I talked about earlier how Jalen White has an injury history. I might as well go with the guy that's right behind him there. Omari O.J. Arnold. Just kind of, if White goes down, Arnold will step right into his place.
Speaking of Georgia Southern and a running back that some folks were so high on as a freshman who's done absolutely nothing, Terrence Gibbs, man. Like,
I forgot about Gibbs.
He's done absolutely nothing there, and it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe. I know he had an injury before he came in, and maybe that was just like that was that. He got bad.
His knee was destroyed in high school. Like, there's a reason why he dropped down in recruiting rankings. Like, it was not good, and frankly, he was never going to be the same running back that he was when he was ranked as high as he was back then. But again, clearly things have not worked out since. All right. I'm trying to decide if I want to take another shot at wide receiver and if I'm good with my running back room. I think I am. Again, there is one name that I'd be willing to take a shot on. I'm kind of surprised it's still on the board. You know what? I'll ride it. I'll ride it. See if this running back makes it back to me.
There we go with the Nevada
starting quarterback. Yep.
Starting quarterback. So there's not many left. Let's see. Northern Illinois, Georgia State, Temple, UConn, Buffalo, Akron.
No one's drafted the general. It makes me so sad.
No one's drafted the general. No, New Mexico State still out there too.
So sad. And Sewell said that he's just going to draft the other quarterback from UL Monroe. Is Booty not available? No, he's available.
No, he's in the pool.
I was wondering if Herring's going to be a placeholder. Now I know Herring's the other quarterback there, but like Mike Bainbridge says, Booty,
Reese
rocket
Mooney
everywhere.
might not show up in the pool. He's at UL Monroe too, but General Booty shows up at UL Monroe.
Yeah, wow, crazy. I need someone to. Oh, is that
it's a nice pick, Corey?
Yeah, good pick. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
He was the breakout player on our episode with UTEP Zay.
Very nice. Yeah, guys. I normally at the end of these drafts, I would be like, all right, who are you surprised didn't come off the board? I don't think we're going to need to do that at the end of this one.
I mean, I could probably, I maybe give you a few, but there ain't going to be many.
Medford's actually an interesting one there at New Mexico. That's a good pick there, Shane, because again, if that offense gets going in year one, they got to throw it to someone, right? Medford's the leading returning receiver there. Not bad pick at all. I actually kind of like that a lot, Shane. Good stuff. Justice, you got 2 picks left. What are the 2 positions you still got to round out here?
Well, I'm going to take a wide receiver and I think I'm going to take another tight end just because, I waited so late to get backups. So there's my receiver and then tight end. I'm going to go with Oscar Hammond, North Texas.
Very nice.
He was he's someone that got some buzz, had a good spring game. We'll see how it works out, but I think that's my 5th tight end. But yeah, I'm done.
How you feeling?
I feel okay. I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard to feel great coming out of any of these drafts when they're limited like this, because I think everybody has to have some breaks go their way. But I mean, I feel okay. I mean, I got North Texas quarterback situation pretty much locked up. Washington State. That's 2 of the, I feel like, prime positions for quarterback in G5. I like my, top 3 running backs and Mackay Hughes, Harrison Whaley, and Floyd Chalk. I got two academy guys there, and Alex Texa and Kanye Udo, who should be fine for bye week fillers. I locked up the San Jose State backfield with Bates and Chalk. Jacobs gives me some positional flexibility there, wide receiver, running back.
Luke, I imagine that is a placeholder for Shadon James.
Yep,
I already got it in the chat.
I got that there in the chat. Perfect. I just figured. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Luke. You're actually saying something.
I just thought, I don't really know what that slot receiver is. James might be the guy too. They might just both be special teams. That offensive line might be porous this year. We've not done the Fresno State interview yet for the G5 Hive, but they might just be dinking and dunking their way down the field. So take my chance there.
Yes, Heath, we did in fact do 30 rounds for this. We are #pain freaks as we determined early on in the show. Man, Sewell, appreciate it, buddy. Not only grabbing not one but two UM Monroe backs or quarterbacks.
Rowdy Beers, Rocky's brother. Yeah, Carp.
Yeah, I gotta go Rowdy Beers. Corey Governor said, I spent 2 minutes looking for a guy and he's already on my team. If that doesn't sum up this draft, I don't know what else is.
I'm definitely going to send Fantrax a support question and say, can you please put bye weeks in the queue?
Yeah, it's just a matter, I guess, of how much room there is, right?
Yeah, they probably can't fit it, but man, it would make life so much easier.
Shane's putting out there, again, is there a list anywhere for you guys? Obviously, people can go look at your podcast feed and they can see all the teams there.
Yeah,
what about a schedule for the future as well?
I mean, we don't have a schedule other than what's being released this week. But if you go to our Twitter account, you can see the pinned tweet is the playlist. That's the playlist for the Worker Bee series. So you'll find every single Worker Bee series there. In terms of what is coming out this week, let's see. We have tomorrow the South Florida Bulls, Tuesday the Rice Owls, Wednesday the Marshall Thundering Herd, Thursday the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, Friday the Buffalo Bulls, and then after that you're looking at UConn Huskies, Tulane Green Wave, Colorado State Rams, and the Nevada Wolfpack, and that's that's as far as we can tell you. And then next weekend we have interviews with Caden Robinson, wide receiver, App State, and linebacker Christian Furman from Northern Illinois. Both of those that'll be Saturday and Sunday next weekend.
If that doesn't excite you guys, I don't know what else you really need from the CFF community. Again, Justice and Luke, you guys have been doing absolute God's work when it comes to getting some of these teams into the forefront and getting information out of these beat writers. So really appreciate you guys.
I got a question for you, Jared. You've been doing this for a hot minute now of college football content. How useful has these Worker Bee series been for you in this? Like, we just assume everybody likes it. We don't know that for a fact, but I'm just curious, for somebody who produces content, how much does it help you out?
You guys are going and directly asking the questions that a lot of times I wish I had the time to go and ask a lot of these beat writers, and assuming that they would even respond to me if I DM'd them, right? It's extremely useful, right? Again, you guys are doing the work that a lot of people just don't have the time or connections to do. Like, Luke, your superpower, Luke, is your ability to work connections, man. Like, you are so impressive every time that you get, a couple years ago, you helped Campus to Canton get Ashton Gianti. You helped me get Devontae Walker onto CTN, right? Like, we had, or you guys did Ishmael Mahdi, you did Mario Anderson. These are not guys that we're just drafting at the end of our leagues and we're hoping break out this year. These are top-end CFF guys that you guys are getting onto your show. You're tackling the teams that a lot of us wish beat reporters could provide way more information on than they do. You get them right in front of you, directly ask them the questions we want to hear. You guys are doing absolutely phenomenal work, and I really cannot commend you guys enough for what it is you guys do.
We appreciate it. Like, we have this vision, and we're delivering. And we hope that you guys like it, and if you like it, go follow us, give us likes, so we hopefully can do this again next year with all the beat reporters, assuming the beat reporters are still where they're at. Then is building new connections. We've already worked on, some of the MAC schools and Mountain West schools. There's only student reporters. So we've already got the people who graduated. We already understand who's coming in to take over next year and can get that information out to people. So we've started building our pipelines, I guess.
All right, we got a couple questions here at the very end of the chat, so if you guys don't mind hanging out for a few minutes, we can answer some of these. One, Todd asked, did Luke ever give his deep stashes for freshmen? Now that the draft is over.
Is a deep. Yep, Sayer Gaines is a deep stash, and then he ended up not going. He ended up not being drafted
until the 22nd round.
Somebody that I really like is Memphis wide receiver
Keandre Henry.
Keandre Henry. I like him. I don't think he'll do a whole bunch this year it's hard for freshmen to do anything. But I like him for a guy in the future.
I know that Nate Marquise is also a big fan of Arlington Maiden, the true freshman quarterback coming in from Memphis this year. Once Hennigan's gone after this year, it's a wide open room back there, and apparently the staff loves what they see out of Maiden. So that's another stash that I would probably go for in some deep dynasty leagues.
Word of caution there. Yeah, Luke's going to mention it.
So they did get a big 4-star recruit that maybe could become a 5-star in quarterback. I'm trying to think of his name. Antoine Hill. He was between Florida and Memphis and chose Memphis. And when we talked to the beat writer, like, they had a feeling that they were going to get him, and like all the radio talk and all the buzz around town is about Maiden. The coaches do like Hill, but the coaches do like Maiden's arm strength and what he can bring to the table. But I would anticipate that Antoine Hill will be given every opportunity to win that job, assuming he does come to Memphis next year. Committing now versus actually getting on campus are two totally different things. So assuming he gets there on campus, I think he'll be given every opportunity to win that job. but there can be something about being in that knowing where the cafeteria is, where you got to go for a year, being in the system for a year. There's something to that as well.
I'm also going to say that if a guy is literally four-star, borderline 5-star, no way he sticks it out with me.
Well, his commitment photo had, what it was at his feet. He was in a king's throne. Yeah, little FedEx trucks. So they got that FedEx money, buddy. I feel, I don't know. I think he will.
I'll have my doubts, but you guys know that system better than I do. So, a couple of other things here. Let's see. Clint Carlson asking, what do you guys think of Charlotte supposedly not running once in their spring showcase? I mean, I'm not going to read too much into it. One thing that I've thought about in the past, especially NFL preseason games and stuff like that, right? Like when I play on Madden, part of me just wants to chuck the ball around in those leagues because, again, when you run the ball, that's the most likely time you're going to see some of your guys get hurt because it's the most physical plays out of the bunch. And so maybe Charlotte has a very similar idea there. In addition, if it's a showcase, fans are coming around. Fans don't want to see you run the ball a whole bunch. They want to see you chuck the ball around, right? I'm not going to read too much into it. What about you guys? Do you guys read much into that?
No, and it was echoed by Cameron Williams, who we had on. We talked about Charlotte. They believe in Max Brown. Max Brown could throw it around, and he had good things to say about Jairus Mack. He felt Jairus Mack would be their leading receiver, and then he liked Isaiah Myers. He said they call him up top Zay because of his jump ball ability, and so I fully expect that Charlotte's going to pass it more than you might expect. Certainly more than what you saw last year. I'm not saying they're going to be an air raid or anything, but I certainly think it's going to be more passing than what you saw last year.
No, they got a quarterback they seem they can trust back there now, which is obviously much better than Jalen Jones, who decided to go off to the draft for some reason with his incredible production profile. And by say that is absolutely atrocious. I don't know who was advising him. Other questions here. Corey Cavender makes a comment saying, I know you guys sometimes touch on it if there's a coach or coordinator change, but he would love it in future episodes of the Work B series if you could touch on with the interviewees what kind of offense each team runs. Even with teams that don't have a coordinator change, just to kind of refresh everybody.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we've done it with coordinator changes, and I think we've done it specifically with the military academies. But yeah, that's a good point.
And Shane Whitehead, again, we kind of touched on it earlier when we talked Ethan Payne and Jordan Houston, but he's saying, are the Marshall running backs a distant memory now with the new system? In terms of, dominant top-end CFF running backs, yes. Well, that's not to say that they can't be somewhat productive, but it's not the same as the past.
I think it's twofold too, right? The system's changed, but I also there's not another Rasheen Ali in that backfield. It's going to be a committee,
or Kalen LeBour, either one. There's not another guy like that in that backfield. So let's see, any other questions here? I think that's pretty much it. Bobby asked which roster is the best. Again, let me see. Again, it's gonna be hard to go through 30 rounds with so many.
It is, guys and I wish, I saw that question, so I tried to start looking at the draft results by team, but I wish it could sort it, like it was sorted by quarterback, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just not easy to look at.
My team's the best. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm joking. Probably.
I like Corey's team.
Yeah. Corey had a lot of good picks. I was saying his name a lot in terms of getting some good value here. I would have to agree. Corey is probably one of the more impressive teams.
Trying to. It's hard because it's not, you can't sort it.
I would say I also like Ethan's here again, grabbing both the North Texas guys. Winston Wright, you get a wide receiver 1 there in the 12th round. Some fun upside shots near the end. I like the Casey Kelly East Carolina pick there. Iverson Hooks, pretty solid. I would say probably Corey and Ethan are the teams that jump off the page for me.
And if Mike can hit quarterbacks, it's going to be a good team. But he's got to hit quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's a lot of upside plays there, but could work out for him. What about you, Luke? Anybody stand out to you?
I mean, we pretty much touched on about everybody. So I'm trying to think, like, going back now that, like, if I were to do this all again, because I waited on did I wait on quarterback? I'm trying to remember. Let's see here. Pull up the.
If I could do, I mean, I messed up on that, obviously with the
Week 6 bye.
The week 6 bye thing, but just in terms of picks where I would have done differently, instead of taking Courtney Jackson, I didn't see that Wright was available. I would have absolutely taken Winston Wright over Courtney Jackson. The other one was I would have taken Amari Hayes over Adrian Norton, but that one worked out for me. I got them both. So
yeah, you're lucky. I was considering taking him there, but Hernandez and McMillan were hard for me to pass up.
I think I probably would have not gone running back at my 9th pick there with Sherrod and Lee Beebe in the 4th round, and instead picked a quarterback maybe in the 1st, or kept the 2nd and then gone wide receiver at 109, because there was a lot of good wide receivers available there at 109. I would have taken Royals there at 109, and then at 104 taking another wide receiver, because I probably could have got another wide receiver like Moss or Burgess. Or Hobart was. So it's like I probably would have done that and then attacked running backs later. I just thought that with the sparsity of the position with tight ends and running backs, that I wanted a pass catching running back first that could really help me out there, that could mask my I don't know what you say, mask the inefficiencies that I'd have at the position later. But I think it was actually deeper than I thought it could have been, and I could have just taken the wide receivers at those positions if I were to do it again. I feel really good about the tight ends, taking the tight ends when I did as often as I did. And then getting Harrison there in the 10th round, I felt like was a cherry on the top. So I liked getting those tight ends there.
That tight end strategy, I think, will either win you this league or it'll basically damn you. Because again, if the two of those guys don't work out, and that means you missed out on some of the guys that are going in that range at running back or wide receiver or quarterback, really. Again, given how you kind of decided to prioritize tight end, which on a good day gets you 15 points versus a quarterback on a good day gets you 30, 35 points. I think that could absolutely come back to bite you pretty hard, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, Amari Thomas is there at 6'5". Could have had him over Mazziotti. Let's see here. Meredith would have been one of my choices there at 5'9" that I was thinking back. Womack, I don't like, what offensively wise, but they run so much. And if he gets more than one touchdown this year, I mean, he's getting a whole bunch of targets. So, I mean, there definitely McEwen would have been an option. Yeah, there's, like you said, it could come back to haunt me there. But also feel pretty good with Burt Emanuel, assuming, he keeps his running. A guy that I was targeting later that I did not get, I'm trying to remember where he went. Mike Bainbridge took him in the 17th, was Cole Snyder. I think he's going to be a running fool in that offense. I think he's going to do a lot of damage with his legs there.
Alrighty. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I would love to talk more, but unfortunately we are well past our cutoff time here for the most part. Again, you guys have been absolutely awesome. I've been singing your praises for the content you guys have been providing all night long. Everybody should absolutely go check out the G5Hive podcast feed, as well, obviously, as your YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, everything you need to do for you guys over there. Any other work that you guys want to promote here? Obviously, Justice, you do work here with us at Campus to Canton. Luke, you were over there at Fantrax. What kind of stuff are you guys doing for those companies?
I'm doing IDP work at Campus to Canton. I did not, because of all my time being kind of wrapped up with the G5 Hive stuff, I did not do a lot of writing for the CFF guide, but I did do some team defense stuff for Jared and the CFF guide. So we got some statistics and a streaming guide from week 1 through week 14 for streaming defenses. So those are kind of the things that I've done, and I made a tool back in February that I think is finally coming forward in the queue. If you don't know, Jarek is the mastermind behind all of our tools at Campus to Canton and getting them on the website. And so he's finally got some time freed up. So IDP fans, the SAC production tool that I finished late February should be. I don't want to say when, but it's at least he's at least talking about getting it into development now. So shouldn't be too much longer, and that tool will be available on Campus to Canton.
Very excited for that. Luke, what you got going on over there at Fantrax?
Next, it would be probably next Saturday, maybe Friday or Sunday. We try to release them on the weekends, but I'll do buddy John Lobb there. He does his rankings. So then I look at his rankings and find guys outside his top 24. And I've been looking strictly at the G5. So I did quarterbacks, I did running backs. This week it will be wide receivers. Then we also do some work with the College Huddle. That is the largest fan-led college sports podcast community on the internet. You can find them on X at College Huddle. There's a YouTube channel at the College Huddle podcast, and then a website, thecollegehuddle.com, where I've been putting some articles together based off the transcripts from our Worker Bee series. Those are down into like 3-minute, 4-minute reads if you want to check those out.
All right.
And there was a Fantrax article that quoted the very own Jason the Natty host, Jared Palmgren. So thank you for that quote.
Yeah, no problem. Again, I didn't have to give you guys a quote. I literally just sent you the video because you're like, I want that quote, or I want a quote based on how you feel about player interviews. And I'm like, well, I have a short just for you on the CTN page perfect. That I could send over to you. So that worked out really well. Well, gentlemen, really, really appreciate it. It was a ton of fun drafting with you guys tonight. Again, this is probably the most fun I've had with the draft just because of how chaotic it got at certain points. So really, really appreciate you guys. Everybody go check out the rest of their stuff. But until then, guys, it's late. Time to go to bed. Appreciate all of you guys listening out there. Justice, Luke, you guys are awesome. Until not next week, actually. I just realized I should announce we are not doing a live draft next Sunday night for 2 reasons. 1, it's a holiday weekend. 2, we on the CFF team at Campus Canton deserve a 1-week break after the grinding out that we will be doing this week to make sure that the CFF guide is ready for you guys next Sunday. So we'll be taking a well-deserved break next week, but then we'll be back the week after with a pretty fun guest, in my opinion. Again, I'm not going to fully announce it just yet, but it's not a CFF expert. It's a member that's kind of broken onto the CFB YouTube scene this past year that has agreed to come on. So should be a fun time with him. But until next time, y'all, appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed night.